Yo, how's it going, guys? Looks like I'm gonna be alone today. Everyone is really upset, and I don't think anyone is gonna join the live. First of all, Forza Milan. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm gonna dedicate more time to the chat because I'm alone, so you guys are lucky today. But first, let's put a graphic on so we can uh, how can I say it? Just live with it. We can just live with the result. So the second game of the Euro Derby semi-final 2023, Inter 1-0-1. First game 2-0, aggregate 3-0 for Inter. Better team in the pitch, both legs. They played better than us. They had more clear chances than us. They were more experienced than us. Their game plan, the tactics, everything was better than us. That's it. You can add after this, you can add the fact that they had more luck than us, their injury, and they're going to play the Champions League final in June, 10 June, against Man City or Real Madrid. We will know tomorrow. And honest opinion from me, Inter will win the Champions League. I always say that in this live that the winner of this Champions League this season is on this side of the table, Inter or Milan, whoever goes through, because the boost is massive. The confidence, everything goes to the roof. And Inter has the fact that in Serie A they are basically already top four is almost sealed, is I would say sure. Top four is 100% sure for Inter as well. They have 5 points from fifth place, which we are at fifth place. So that means they will cruise the last 3 games and hopefully we get to go top four as well. But yeah, Inter will cruise and go to that final pretty rested. So let's see. I'm gonna give my analysis first, but I just want to say hi to all the chat, to everyone. I see some new faces. I don't know, maybe Mustafa is one of the OGs, always here. Joel, and Silver Wave, I can see here. Oh, Roy is joining as well. Anyway, I say hi to everyone. And before Roy, how's it going, Roy? All good?
Hold on. I'll be right back. I gotta.
Okay, no problem. Before we go and check the chat, first I just want to say that calm down. I know it hurts to lose against. I mean, I know I'm living it like you guys to lose against Inter in the semi-final of Champions League. So that's fine. We're gonna get through this, like they went through this. So it's not a bad thing. We will survive. It's an awful feeling.
All right, I'm here.
Yeah, it's an awful feeling, but we need to kind of remember this awful feeling. The players needs to remember this, and we'll make them stronger. We'll make them more mature, more prepared on games like this. Because I don't think we are gonna go back at this level in semi-finals, finals, and quarterfinals of Champions League. That's where we belong. That's where this group of players belong. So we will be back there, hopefully next year, or maybe the year after. So, Ancelotti back? No, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think Ancelotti wants to come back to this Milan. I don't think Ancelotti will move from Real Madrid for another season. And if he moves from Real Madrid, he will probably go to Brazil and manage the national team. So, Roy, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
I feel bad for Rock as well, Joel. He paid a lot of money to go and watch the game, and the game was nothing exciting, to be honest. We did the remontada. So I feel bad for Rock, and he must be really upset. But yeah, I can see in the group chat people blaming the same people again and again. For me, it's a collective failure. Let's be honest. I don't know how
I don't think
people
it. I
blame
don't
a
think it. I
specific.
don't think it's a failure. I don't
No,
think.
no,
I think. I.
I'm talking about the result, not the overall experience
I
of
think
Champions League.
Champions League cannot be seen as a failure. Maybe the Scudetto, if we don't finish in the top four, that is 100% a failure.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
failure for sure. But I'm talking about the defeat today,
yeah, but
specific the
defeat
game.
today. I mean, I don't
It's a
know what to
collective
say.
failure. I cannot blame one player. I cannot say, okay, if that player was not playing, we would win the game. I cannot say that. It's a collective failure. We all fail in this.
Yeah.
End of the story. I mean,
The game
today,
today.
honestly, maybe just Mike Magnan is the only one you cannot blame because at the end he's alone in that position and he can do as much as he can, but it's not a specific fault to someone. Bilal wants to join. Let Bilal join it.
I didn't lie. You're right.
All good, all good. That's fine.
I'll. What have I missed, or would you like me to start my rant?
No, we are just kind of interacting with the chat at the moment. But if you don't have time because you need to go, because I know maybe you have to work tomorrow, things like that, and you want to give a quick opinion of the game, you can go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we know that we haven't got a strong enough squad. Inter have the better squad; they have more depth. We know that they were 2-0 up, and we needed to score to have any chance of winning this tie. But my frustration is just with Pioli and the tactics in this game, because when you're at half time and you see Diaz and Macias playing like shit and you need a goal, why not put Salamakers on at half time? Why did he wait up until Martinez scores in the 75th minute to then make two changes? Because any changes you make once it's 3-0 is completely a waste of time. Doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. When you're still in the game at half time and you need a goal, why not put on Origi? Why not put on Salamakers? And then, the usual response to that, Lyot, is, oh, they're shit. They've been shit all season. But
I have a response for that.
The response is not even that. I can even tell you they're not shit. They're good players or they're valuable players. The thing is, they're not better than the one you mentioned that didn't play well.
Well, Salamanca is not a goal scorer. You don't put on Salamanca.
Yeah.
Goals.
Okay.
Well, let's say you think Salamanca will give more energy to the team.
It's not even that. It's when you've chosen to start Macias and Diaz, which I don't have any problem with. That's Pioli decided that's the best team. Fine, he knows the players better than we do. But when they're performing shit, you're 2-0 down at half time and you've not gathered a goal, because I can bet my bottom dollar that the tactics going into this game is get the first goal, try to score early, right? At least bring it to 1-0.
Everyone knows that, and even Pioli, even the players.
So at half time, Liat, when Macias is playing shit and Diaz is playing shit, why not make a change? Why did he wait?
Why? I'll tell you why. because let's say Pioli wins this one. Imagine Pioli does that and wins this one and goes through. He's just hiding bigger issues. Pioli going through against Tottenham, Pioli going through against Napoli. He's just hiding a bigger issue. The bigger issue is that our squad is not good enough to play at this level of European football. Our squad can become good enough, or if you get the tactics right, you can win this game. But it's human. You cannot get it right every single day. You need to allow yourself to don't get it right, but still have good players that will solve you the game and make you win the game. You can allow that. Every coach gets it wrong, the tactics. Guardiola got the tactics wrong against Real Madrid. His players find a way to draw the game 1-1.
I'm not asking you to defend Pioli.
No, I'm not defending Pioli. We need to realize that.
I have a question for you, Bilal.
What we're asking here is to cover mistakes that are made from other people, not Pioli.
Okay, but I have a question for Bilal. I have a question. Yep. So, like, you need goals. You're looking at your bench. Who's going to bring you goals? Who this season has given you a guarantee from your bench that is going to come in and change the game?
I'll tell you what, Roy. I'll tell you what. Rebic 2 goals this season. Origi 2 goals this season. Selemakers 2 goals this season. And who is the other guy? CDK 0 goals. You have 4 players, 6 goals. You're looking at your bench, and you have 4 players that can have provided during the whole season the same amount of goals that Theo Hernandez has provided this season. Your left back.
Okay, here's my response. Roy, here's my response.
No, before you respond, this is not football, this is statistic. I'm not even talking about football right now. I'm talking about statistic. Anything you want to do, if your solution is 6% of what do you need, you will never, that is not called a solution. That is basically luck. You're open, the luck, God comes to this earth and tells, you know what, you're going to win this, and I don't give a shit. You can play Lard, Bilal, Rajon, Roy, Rock. You're going to win this game. Don't worry. That's what you guys are asking for Pioli. I understand he made a lot of mistakes tactically, but at the end of the thing, even if he gets it right, I don't think it's fair for us to go through. It's not fair.
All right, go ahead, respond.
You want me to respond, Roy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just 1 second.
Are you replying to an email or are you eating something?
I'm working from home, but it's okay. It's 10:30 p.m., but I'm still working. Anyway, Roy, here's my response. Pioli looks at the bench and he hasn't got, a Lukaku or Correa or Brozovic to come on or Gosens. But what he does have to do is look at the pitch and realise if I have a fresh pair of legs on the right wing in Selemakers is the same guy who ran through 4 players of Napoli's defence, the best defence in the league, and scored as a goal. If you can see there's a player on the pitch that's playing shit, then you're well within your right to take him off. No one's going to question you on that. The problem is, we've said this all season, Pioli is a reactive coach. He sits back, he lets things happen, and when shit hits the fan, he's like, oh shit, I better do something. That's why I've said in the chat, Inzaghi is a well better coach than Pioli. The reason being, he's 7-0 against Pioli this season. He's in the Champions League final. He's won trophies this season. He's brought an Inter team which was shit last season. He brought them all together. Bearing in mind, Inter have lost some key players as well. They haven't just bolstered their team this season. They've lost some key players.
Listen to me.
They've lost their best defender.
Okay.
Oh, it's pretty. Yeah, but they put some serious depth.
I don't listen, Bilal. I'm not comparing Pioli here. I'm trying to look at the bigger picture. Maybe let's say like this. I agree with you. I wanted Pioli to make some changes on minute 55, 60. Just mix it up, mix your cards.
Do anything. Bring anyone on.
But at the end of the day, he didn't do that, which is a mistake. I agree with you. But on this situation, if you look at the bigger picture, Pioli has a 10% blame on all this season. In my opinion, it's a 10% blame. The other 90%, you can divide it as the way you want to divide it. I don't care because it doesn't matter. Everyone has different opinions. But I think all of us, we should agree on this, that this all season, looking at the option Pioli has, I can blame Pioli 10%. I agree with you. He should have made some changes. He should have. It's 2-0. You need a goal. You need something to happen. Put Origi, put Rebic, mix it up. Tonali is giving away. Is losing a lot of passes in the midfield. Krunic as well is losing a lot of passes in the midfield. Put Pobega. Doesn't matter. Pobega is going to lose passes. Who cares? At least has more energy. I agree with you. I'm totally agree with you. Pioli managed this game or the 2 game bad. Let's all agree on that. But a coach, he's right to get it wrong and still win a game because the players are actually good. We're not allowed. Pioli's not allowed to make any mistake. I've seen bigger coach than Pioli make mistakes and still win the game because they have good players.
That's a very good take. That's a very good take.
So
Pioli has a very small margin of error.
In Milanello, Pioli is the only one who's not allowed to make any mistake.
Okay,
Giroud
so let me answer.
Goals.
I'll answer
Leao
that.
can have a bad day.
So I've got your point. Your point is that Pioli, like other coaches, can make mistakes and they can be accountable, but ultimately it falls on the players. That's what your point is, isn't it?
No. My point is, Leao disappears for 5 games, 10 games.
Yep.
It's completely fine.
No,
Maldini misses 5 buys 5 players that we didn't need this season.
Yeah,
that's completely fine. Jerry Cardinali puts 2 coins in the table to buy grocery.
Yeah,
players are shit. Their passing ability, they're missing passes after passes during the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Injuries, so the medical staff is shit. We're getting injury after injury. Again, Pioli misses 1 tactics, 1 game or 5 games. Is the whole fault. He has all the blame.
Okay, so I'll answer that question to you. So I completely agree with you. Our players this season have been completely inconsistent. That stems from Mike Mignon all the way down to Giroud in attack. Everyone has been inconsistent. In regards to Pioli, yes, he has his flaws as well. If we accept that everyone in this team, and including the board and Maldini, is culpable, then what's your response to saying, right, shake the whole thing up? Everything from the top down.
Everyone should everyone should improve.
You should not.
So this is my answer. So right now you're saying Maldini's made some mistakes, but we're going to stick with him because
I'll tell you what the answer is.
That's the answer of life. Every time you see an issue, you don't stop.
We're not going to sack them.
Listen. The answer is not revolutionize. The toy is broken. Buy a new toy. You just need to get a few players to give whoever the coach is going to be. It doesn't matter if it's Pioli or anybody else. Hold on, let me finish. This is the thing that people are not understanding. They say Pioli. It doesn't matter who the coach is. If your squad does not have a roster that is at a certain level, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So whoever the coach is going to be, whether it's a Pioli again or some other coach, it is up to the manager this summer to give him a proper team and then tell him these are the objectives. But if you started this past summer, after that disastrous summer that we had, and you told him the objective is top 4 and win in the Champions League, then you're wrong because it's never going to happen.
Okay. Here's my response to this. We've just had Jerry. He's just come in and he's promised us a transfer window. If now's not the time to invest, like Maldini said, then if he doesn't invest any money this summer, he can fuck off. That's because otherwise he's no good to us. Then going to Maldini and Massara, their good outweighs their bad. For example, them renewing Theo Benacer, signing Magnan, and all of the rest outdoes buying Origi on a free and Messias renewal, etc. The good outweighs the bad. So overall, their assessment is they've done good, but they've made some vital gambles that haven't paid off. So Maldini again isn't culpable. Then we go to Pioli and the squad. We all agree that our squad is improving. It's a work in progress. It's not the final answer. We're not ready to challenge for, Cities and Real Madrids and all of that. My problem with Pioli is if this issue about substitutions and tactics for the games, that's not just in the Champions League when we got thrashed by Chelsea twice in the group. It's also in the league when from January to March. I think did we win 1 game or 2 games? And I can't remember. But
Bilal.
look at the point about Pioli. This is what
you're not looking at the bigger picture, man.
No. This is my point. Let me just make my point about Pioli.
Game. How many times I have to repeat the players Pioli had at that game available? So how many times I have to come in this live and repeat what is the players that Pioli had available that game?
Okay.
Do you want me to give you the list of the injuries?
No. We've been unfortunate.
Well, you cannot. Can anyone stop mentioning that game, please, in this live?
Which game?
You can stop mentioning that game in this live.
Which game are you on about?
The Chelsea game where we lost at Stamford Bridge.
Okay, fine. I won't mention the Chelsea game. Let's just focus on the league right now. Just understand this. Right now, how many games have we lost? 9.
Yeah, we lost 9 games.
Okay. Just take this on board and let me know what your response is to this.
Well, Inter has lost 11. And
don't compare. No, I don't want you to compare.
No, I'm saying that it doesn't matter how many games you lost. Other teams that lost more than you.
No, but listen to my point first. We've lost 9 games. We're challenging or defending our title of the league.
Okay, Bilal. Sorry, 1 second, man. I'll be honest with you. There is a coach that has a striker that has scored 24 goals this season. And he has lost 11 games. And there is another coach that has Giroud, 37 years old, as a striker, and has lost 9 games. Now, who is a better coach? The one that has available 24-goal striker. He's been scoring 25 goals in the last 3 seasons. He's 25 years old.
Okay.
His value is 90 million. He's a World Cup winner.
Okay.
Starting with Argentina. And you're telling me that it's Pioli's fault because he's playing Giroud. He's the only player that Pioli has available.
Right. Let me break it down so you get the point a bit better.
What are you breaking down here? I'm sorry. No. You cannot break down anything here. It is simple. You have it in front of you.
Let Bilal talk, though. Let him finish.
Dude, what is breaking down here? What is breaking down?
Okay. At the start of the season, what was Pioli's objectives?
Top 4.
Top 4. Go further than group stage and Champions League, and.
That's it.
And and also try get us into a final of the League Cup or something. Get us a trophy.
Money does not allow us. Does not give us any money, so it's not important financially. We are a team that it needs money.
Okay, fine. Given that we won the league, we're in that Super Coppa Italia thing, aren't we? What's it called?
The Donald Duck Cup.
Yeah, the Donald Duck Cup. At least get us that because we're already in the final for that.
But does not move the money situation. Does not give Pioli a better striker in the summer if he wins that cup.
Okay, but let Bilal finish his sentences.
Okay, so the objective is top 4 and go past the group stage in Champions League. We've gone to the semi-finals in the Champions League, and whichever spin you want to put on it, we're quite fortunate because we dodged the bigger teams that like Real Madrid, City, and Bayern. But we did well. We beat Napoli, we beat Tottenham. He's done really well in the Champions League to get us in the semi-finals. But if he doesn't make the top 4, that's a key objective that he's failed in. So when you do your end of year review and you look at Pioli and you say, well, he got to the semi-finals of the Champions League. We got thrashed by Inter. It's not like it was any close or anything. And by the way, we're finishing 5th or 6th. If Pioli was your employee, what would you say at the end of the season?
I would not. I'll tell you what I would say. I would not be brave enough to see him in his face because I gave him coins to work with. I gave him. He needs a printer. I told him to write it down.
Yeah, but even. Okay,
that's what I did.
You know what I would have told you?
And you know what internet connection? I told him, use the internet connection of your phone. That's what I told him to do.
Okay, Roy, what's your response to it?
I would have told him, shit, I didn't give you a team that was good enough for you to go all the way into the semi-final of the Champions League and compete in the Serie A. You should have probably just gotten eliminated against Tottenham, and you would have finished top 4.
No, you've both missed the point. you've both
No.
agreed. You both agreed at the start of this season with the current squad, his objective was to finish top 4.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
do you consider the injury, 18 games injury of
Okay,
Mike Maignan? Did
okay.
I give him a solution for
but
that
no,
injury?
no, but Bilal, my argument is if he wouldn't have reached the semi-final of the Champions League,
He will
maybe
go
top,
second or third.
maybe top 4 wouldn't be a problem right now.
Okay, so then here's my response to you. So what you're saying is that if we got kicked out in this last 16, for example, he would have only had the league to focus on, and therefore we would have finished top 4. Okay, fine.
With the roster he has, yeah.
Okay.
He would have.
So
it would have been easy.
So to the fans that say, "Hold on a second, we were never going to win the Champions League. Why didn't you focus on the league? Because
it's money. It is money.
Okay, so but the thing is, if you're gambling on potentially just getting through to the quarters or the semis of the Champions League over a top 4 finish,
sorry,
that's
Bilal,
stupid.
Dude,
but
listen to
hold
me.
on.
Sorry, you are telling me that Pioli should have played Balotelli in a Champions League quarterfinal against Napoli? You're telling me that Pioli should not even try?
When did I say that?
Show up? Well, you say that because you're gambling. You're saying you're gambling. No, he's not gambling. He's putting his best formation on a big occasion.
No, what he did
because 75,000 people are coming at San Siro to watch you have a game against Napoli. No fucking lose so you can get top 4. So the problem goes to the management, to the ownership, not to Pioli. Pioli at the end has a big game to play.
Exactly.
And he has to play the best formation. Because this is Milan.
In the Champions League he does, but in the league, what he did specifically is unprecedented. To change, only Milan have done it once in their history, but to change their entire squad to focus on the Champions League and then go on a 4-4-1.
You know why? You know why I had to change the entire squad? Because the players were tired and they were required to play after 2 days, and they were not able.
Here's my response to that, Liat and Roy. I'm not being critical.
No, you're talking things that does not exist. The players were
tired. I want you to just bear this in mind. Do you know? Look at the Premier League, for example. I'm not talking about top 4 teams. I'm just talking about the whole Premier League, even their relegation side teams. Since the World Cup, they've been playing 3 games every 3 days. They've been playing a game since the World Cup. Right. Premier League teams, their fixtures are every 3 days. Even the relegation sides, all of them play every 3 days because they have to cram in this World Cup as post-winter. So, and when you look at the analysis of the actual minutes played for the English Premier League compared to the Italian league, I'll give you one example about fatigue and tiredness. There was a game in Serie A involving Milan where we played less than 45 minutes of actual play this season. In comparison to the English Premier League, the relegation sides, I'm not talking about the top 10 teams, just the relegation sides, they average well in advance of 60 minutes per game. Because so then when you talk about fatigue and you say they're tired
I'm sorry, Bilal.
But you're referring to one game. That's
why I'm
one game.
interrupting you. Bilal, we play against Napoli Tuesday night. The game finished at 11 in Italy.
Yeah.
And the next game is Saturday at 2 p.m.
Yep.
So you have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we played basically the game. Because we had another game on Tuesday. So basically 2 days and a half.
Yep, I get that. That's the case for other leagues, including the Premier League. I'll give you an example. You could go down south to play Brighton or something, and then come up to play Newcastle on the Saturday, which is a 7-hour trip. It happens everywhere.
I'm talking about the Serie A here.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that point is irrelevant because the English Premier League.
It is relevant. It is relevant because
they're playing more physical, more faster, and longer minutes.
Bilal, and what happened if they lose the game after? So they play one and they lose the other. What happened?
No. My point is they're not.
No. You tell me what happened.
But also the only English team that went far in Europe is Man City. All the other ones.
No. But let's stay on the topic, Bilal. What happened? What is the consequences if they win one and lose the other?
Yeah, you're talking about two different things. We were talking about rotating players. We're not talking about winning or losing, because if you
important, man. The consequence. I'm sorry. The consequences if Brighton wins on Tuesday and loses on Saturday is nothing. They get 130 million.
No.
Rights.
I'll
they
just
get 130 million TV rights
at
the end of the year.
I'll give you an example.
No, I know you know because you don't know what to say here. If Milan loses against Napoli and loses against Bologna, they lose 50 million top four and 20 million for the next group of Champions League. So it's 70 million loss.
So you keep mentioning money, but the biggest money draw in this thing is to finish top four. Not finish far in the Champions League, because if we get another 50 million for finishing in the semi-finals of the Champions League, but
are you really saying, Bilal? Hold on, one second. Are you really saying that Pioli should have snubbed the Champions League?
No, who said that? I'm just saying to rotate 8 or 9 players.
Way, man. That's what you're saying.
No, I didn't say that. I just said, so here's my point. If you rotate
one or two, I can go on YouTube and record and you can hear yourself.
No, if you rotate 1 or 2 players, for example, the Spezia game or the other games that we drew on Camoranesi, and what was the other team that we lost against? Who told him to rotate 7, 8, 9 players? If you rotated 2 players,
I give you the explanation. It was 2 days and a half difference between one game and another, and both the games are important.
Yeah, was this before the Napoli game? Was this for the Napoli? It was for the Napoli
game. The first game against Napoli, we won 1-0 against Napoli.
Yeah,
we play 3 days after against Cremonese. I don't know, Bologna. We did 0-0.
Let's just agree to disagree. You're trying to justify Pioli making 7, 8 changes.
No, I'm not. Dude,
I want to make a disclaimer. I want to make a disclaimer here.
No, Bilal, forget Pioli for a second. Call it another guy. Call it Conte. Call it whoever you want. A football player after an intense game like against Napoli in Champions League cannot perform after 2 days and a half, man. Cannot. Stop with this myth.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I'm more sorry than you, man. Because you never played football.
Did Napoli make changes? Did Napoli make changes?
Yeah, Napoli made changes. Yeah,
no,
Napoli
not
they didn't make as many changes, and
exactly.
Who went through?
Why they didn't make? Listen to me. No, Roy. Let me finish this. They made a lot of changes. And they didn't win the game, Bilal. They didn't win that game.
Okay. Perhaps
they drew like us.
Okay, let me just make it very simple.
You're gonna move now the post on another direction.
No. All I'm gonna
they drew like us. They made the change. They didn't win.
If we're not going to agree on a point, we'll just move on. If
it's
we don't
not
finish
about
top...
agreeing, man.
Yeah, but okay. Well, if we don't finish top 4, what do you want doing?
Well, think that the management should have spent more money.
So
they should have bought a better defender. They should have bought Botman and the striker.
Is our current squad better than Roma's?
But doesn't matter, man.
I think Roma is. I think Roma is slightly, as far as depth goes, slightly better. Just slightly.
Okay, Bilal, do we have a better squad than Lazio?
Bilal.
Lazio doesn't have European.
I'm sorry, Roy.
Lazio doesn't have European competition.
Roy. Our squad is better than Lazio. So Pioli makes the changes and plays these players, and they don't perform. Is it Pioli's fault?
No.
Okay. So what do you want? Is it better than Lazio? Why they don't win the game if they're better than Lazio?
So
why CDK is not playing better than Luis Alberto?
My frustration with Pioli today is very simple. He did not make the changes that were required.
Now you're saying today.
My thing about this argument that you bring, Bilal, is you say changes, but what changes has Pioli done all year that changed the game? He has not had this option.
Yeah, but that's because he's been doing the same shit all season. Roy, you've got experience in coaching. If you've got a player,
that's why I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Because if you don't have the changes that are going to come in and change the game for you, you can't do anything. You have to do what you got to do and pray to God that things are going to go your way.
What you're saying is we're an 11-man squad and that we shouldn't make any subs unless they're absolutely necessary.
What I'm saying is that those subs aren't going to do anything. And
what you're saying is we're an 11-man squad.
12, 13-man squad.
Okay. And we only make changes for injuries or bookings. That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, even if you make those changes, nothing is going to change.
So then why do we need a coach?
The quality of your team is going to go down.
So then why do we need a coach?
No, the question you should be Bilal, the question you should be asking yourself is, why didn't the management buy better players for Pioli?
Shall I tell you why they didn't buy better players? It's because Pioli's a yes man, and if we had someone who stood up to the board and said, I'm your manager, okay, I'm buying these players, put this money on the table. If you haven't got the money, then give me the option to buy the players that I want. Do you reckon Pioli has any
So everything is on Pioli. Everything is
no. Bilal, I'm sorry, man. This is
climate change is Pioli's fault.
I'm sorry, Bilal. What is
who makes
hurricanes? Pioli's fault.
Okay,
Bilal, I'm tired with this.
Famine, Pioli's fault.
Can I intervene here?
Yeah, Leo,
so let's say Pioli is not a yes man. It says, "Fuck you, Redbird. You didn't buy me any player. I'm leaving." What we gain from that?
Okay, let me explain to you.
Do you think Redbird would be? Oh no, Pioli got upset. I'm gonna spend another 50 million so he stays quiet. Do you really think that's gonna?
Are you forgetting, Bilal?
Which one do you leave? Man?
Bilal. Are you forgetting that our biggest investment this summer has been a complete flop?
Complete flop. The biggest flop.
Okay, so here's my response. Here's my response to that. So who makes the decision of buying CDK? Maldini Massara.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm a coach, my response to them would be, hold on a second, why aren't I involved in this decision making? I don't want CDK. He's not going to fit in my system. He's a pile of shit.
Maybe he was involved.
No, he's not. He's not. Pioli.
Okay, Bilal. Or you are a coach, or you are a scout. You cannot know everything about every fucking single player.
Every single manager has.
Listen, I'll tell you an example. Pioli spends the fucking entire season coaching his team. He's not looking at the game CDK is playing. He's just fucking coaching his team the entire season. So there is people paid at Milan that are actually following this kid.
Yeah.
That is playing football, so they know these characteristics. They know what he can provide, and they made the decision. It's not Pioli making the decision. Pioli does not know CDK. Pioli is giving a profile. I want a guy that is good with his feet. He runs, he presses. Bring me that player. He's not gonna look at all the talents around Europe. Does not work like football. Does not work like this. Pioli coaches other people, scout players, and make decisions.
Do you know the managers?
Sorry, Bilal, before you go on, I want to say one real quick thing. I want to make a quick disclaimer here. I'm not arguing that Pioli is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm just saying that Pioli this year was given a squad that's not good enough to achieve the objectives that you want him to achieve.
No, I agree, Roy. When we won the league, I think we're all on the same page more or less, because when we won the league, we realized that we overachieved, and then everyone was.
Didn't realize because people in this chat told me Kalulu and Tomori are good enough for next season.
No.
The defense is good. We should not buy more defenders.
The vast majority.
40 million on Botman. We should buy number 10. That's what
when we won the league, the scope of our competition was different.
Exactly. Yeah. So we overachieved, and our competition.
We had a squad that was only focusing on Serie A. That squad at the time was good enough to win the Serie A.
Okay.
This season, our first squad is good enough to win.
Sorry. I need to interrupt you here, Bilal. Listen. When we won the league, people were saying Romagnoli is not good enough for this team. We need a better player. People were not saying we overachieved. Let's keep Romagnoli. He's actually good. No, people say we need better play. We need a right wing. We need a number 10 because our defense is good. It's good. Kalulu and Tomori are the best thing. It's Cannavaro and Nesta, basically. That's what people are saying.
Okay, well, let's not include people. Let's just keep it the three of us, because my understanding is that when we won the league last season, everyone was crying out saying, right, okay, we've won the league. Now's the time to plow in the money and invest in this team. That didn't happen, and everyone else around us invested, including Napoli, Inter, and everyone else. Right.
Exactly.
So if they've all invested and we haven't, you're saying that we got left behind and Pioli's done the best he can with the squad that he has. That's your point.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
And that's Liat's point as well, that everyone else has done better and we haven't improved.
That's what's going to happen when you give. So basically, it's like a waterfall. You give Maldini 50 million from the top. With 50 million, Maldini is more likely to make mistakes than actually get it right. If you give 100 million, he's more likely to get it right than to get it wrong.
Okay,
because he will invest 100 million, he will get wrong CDK, he will get right the other 2 or 3 that he's gonna buy with the 60 million.
Yeah, okay, I've got your point. When let's say
it's a funnel.
Okay, no, that's fine. I agree with that. Let's see, Jerry says we've got 100 million to spend, but let's see we don't finish top 4, or we finish top 4 and we've got 100 million.
Let's see. I'll tell you what happened. You have 100 million to spend the summer before. You have 100 million. You buy CDK, you buy Botman and Enzo Fernandez.
No, I'm talking about now going forward. Forget
that's an example. It's just
let's just walk forward, because that's hypothetical. I'm not dealing hypothetical. Let's just deal with now. This summer.
But the next season. Listen, next season I don't know yet when they're gonna announce the budget, or when we.
Let's say it now. Let's say it now. We've got 100 million. Jerry's just announced it today. We've finished top 4, or we haven't finished top 4. We've got 100 million. Do you give that to Pioli or Maldini and Massaro to decide amongst themselves what they want?
Not decide. Can people understand? If Pioli says, "I'll play this football," you decided that I'm the coach of this team. I play this football. Bring me functional players for this type of football.
This is where we differ. This is my approach. I won't mention any managers' names, because then you'll start kicking off going, that manager's shit. But all I will say to you is, an experienced manager who's won leagues, titles, etc., will sit down with the board and say, I've identified 3 positions for a wing.
It does not work like this in Italy. It does not work like this.
Okay, so when we said, yeah, it does, because Maldini said our number 1 target for our defender was Botman. After Botman, it then became Tomori. So he identified there were 3 people in the list. When we didn't get the first one, we got the second. I think
no. Botman was not in the list when we got.
Botman was our number 1 target.
Was Sima Khan? You're talking about
Sima Khan. No. Before Botman, there was another defender that we were linked to heavily, and then he had an injury. He had a knee injury or something. Anyway, look, we had a list of people, and because we didn't get 1 and 2, we ended up getting Tomori, and that ended up being a blessing in disguise. So
just to clarify to everyone in the chat, the Botman story, Maldini said in an interview, you can go and find it, is in it. It's clear. We had 50 million budget. I had to pick between Botman or CDK. Yeah. I choose CDK.
Okay. And so, that clearly backfired.
That backfired. That is the fault not of Maldini. That is the fault of Jerry Cardinale. Because, as I say, it's a waterfall. You give 100 million to Maldini, he will get you.
Yeah.
CDK, Botman, and Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez, Botman will do well. So, one is going to flop. You will get 10 points more.
Yeah, it's just like.
I have a question for Bilal.
Yeah, go on.
I have a question for Bilal. Bilal, last year, do you think we had a roster that was good enough to win the Serie A and win the Champions League?
And win the Champions League?
Yes.
Last season, I'm going to disregard the Champions League, because in terms of...
Well, I mean, today you're upset because we didn't go to the final, right?
Yeah, okay, so I'll answer that directly. When you are given the draw that you have, you've got to understand football, there's a lot of luck in football. And when you barely make it out of your group stage, and then you have to play Tottenham instead of Real Madrid or Bayern Munich in the next round, and Tottenham had a manager with one foot out the door.
Last season.
No,
not this season.
Oh, so you're talking about last season. So last season, we probably did. We just had a group of death last season. We probably did. If we got an easier group, we would have found ourselves in the quarterfinals. Easy. No problem.
Yeah, but we will lose the league. We will lose the league because we will not have enough players to rotate.
I think that's a defeatist argument, because when you are automatically fighting for the league, you're on par with fighting for the League Cup. That's why people have doubles and trebles and quadruple titles, because when you're fighting for the league, you're automatically going to be fighting for the league title, the Champions League, or the Europa League, because you're that good of a team. It doesn't matter about.
But you talk about these doubles, quadruples, like these teams are not invested insane amount of money, or they've been winning for 10 years in a row.
Inter from last season to this season, I would say their squad has depleted. It hasn't got any stronger. They've lost their best defender, and now
they have. I'm sorry, they have like 25 points from first place.
No, but they've got 2 trophies this season, and on par to
don't count those trophies, man. Please, let's be serious for a second. League and Champions League. Let's talk League and Champions League for a second. Let's be serious for a second here. Dude, you want Milan to win a Coppa Italia next season? Believe me, it's easy. Just play your best team.
If it's so
fucking
easy,
ignore the Serie
when's
A
the last time
before
you
and
won the
after
Coppa
that
Italia?
game, and you win it. You win it. Believe
Yeah,
me, you win it.
but Laia, you're from the UK. You understand the FA
No,
Cup.
I don't. I'm in UK and I love
FA Cup is totally different than Coppa Italia.
No, he's a fucking teapot, bro. He's nothing. Just English people care about that cup. No one.
Yeah, but come on, the Coppa Italia, we've not won it in so long.
No one in Italy gives a shit,
Come
man.
on,
No,
who
doesn't
cares
give you
about the
money,
Coppa?
doesn't give you prestige. You can win it easily. Just play your best players.
You keep mentioning
trophy, and you will feel like an idiot anyway at the end of the day.
No, you keep mentioning money. Not everything about a club is finances.
Dude, for us, money is everything.
Listen, Bilal, you have to realize.
Do you understand this?
Bilal, you have to realize that in order to go deep into the Champions League and try to win the Scudetto, you need something like 18 players, minimum 16 players that are top Gs, that are ready to play.
Yeah.
And we're far from that.
We are.
Last year, we were closer to that than we are this year.
Yeah.
I cannot bring myself to point the finger at Pioli when the management failed Pioli.
I just think, okay, here's my thought about it. I just think if you're going to invest big, then shake things up and go with an experienced manager who's won trophies. So, for example, I'm not saying anything's wrong with Pioli. I'm just saying perhaps he's taken as far as he can. If I was an owner and I had 100 million, I'd say Tuchel or Mourinho or someone of that caliber. And you're going to turn around and say, where are they? There's no one available. But
know what pisses me off? You know what pisses me off, Bilal? Is that if Pioli brought in from the bench Gosens and Lukaku, and then they get you the goal, everybody would be calling Pioli a genius. They will
say Lukaku and Gosens. No one gives a shit about Pioli.
So you're saying that you would give Pioli that 100 million to spend as opposed to an experienced championship winner?
Pioli has shown us. Pioli has shown us.
Won the championship.
Sorry, just say that again.
Pioli has shown us that when you give him a proper team in correspondence to the objectives that he's given, he delivers.
Okay, fine.
This year, he wasn't given a team to defend. Was he given a team to defend the title this year? No, he was not.
We.
Ibra was a mistake. Origi was a mistake. CDK was a mistake. Keeping Rebic was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake.
We massively.
The second goalkeeper was a mistake.
Balotelli is a mistake.
Not reinforcing the defense was a mistake.
Yep, I worked out.
Where is the replacement for Kessie? Where's the replacement for Kessie?
On the chat, I listed out of a squad of 29, we had only 13 players to keep and 16 we had to get rid of.
And sell Pobega, man. I lost you there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know you.
I lost you
my
there,
only
man.
my only issue with Pobega. I picked Vranks over Pobega only because Vranks was younger and I felt he had more potential.
Dude, 1 year younger, 2 years younger.
Yeah, but I felt he had more potential because Pobega's problem is he's not particularly good with the ball.
Dude,
he's got a decent
have
shot.
Kids, man. Are we gonna have kids forever in this fucking team? Are we gonna keep some experience, some Serie A experience?
Okay.
Pobega scored 5 goals this season, man. I wish the other midfielder scored 5 goals this season.
Okay, fine. All right. Irrespective of Pobega, what the point is that we've got half a squad. That's the point.
We don't have half a squad. We should just prioritize certain positions and stop moving the money in bullshit.
Yeah, your point, Laia, is that we're not Manchester City. We haven't got 2 top Gs for every position. I can accept that. We don't have, take off Kevin De Bruyne and let's bring on Gundogan or Mahrez or someone. We don't have quality stars like that. I take that fine. My only where we differ is that Roy thinks that he'd be happy giving Pioli 100 million to spend and next season.
Because nobody's giving Pioli 100 million.
Okay,
they're giving Maldini and Massara 100
million. My point.
Why are you so fixated on Pioli?
Because my point is that I think that a more seasoned manager will get the most out of a squad than Pioli. I don't think Pioli. Well, he's not been tried and tested, has he? He's been tested with kids.
Okay. And listen to me, brother. Listen to me. I wish we could get Haaland because Haaland would guarantee us 40 goals a season. But we can't. So we have to be
No, but
creative.
my point is,
We have to be creative.
Can Pioli take the
I
squad?
would love to have Guardiola, my man. I would love to have Guardiola and Man City's squad. I would love to have it, but we don't have $1 billion to spend in one side.
No, my point is do you reckon Pioli can improve this squad, even if it's given 100 million? Do you reckon he'd be able to continue improving?
In my opinion, if you give Pioli this team that he has right now, get rid of a dead weight, which is about 7 or 8 players, replace those players with guys young, not children, but guys that are hungry, that are good, that are, you know, the potential next potential top stars of the future, and a mixture of some guys that are already established. Yeah, he's going to achieve all the objectives.
Give Hernandez a backup, man. The man has played 3 years and a half in a row without stopping one game. The man is. Hernandez is gas, man. I remember Hernandez running 90 meters full speed. Now he doesn't know what to do with the ball, and he's running 30 meters.
How many center forwards has Pioli had this season?
No, he's had nothing to work off in the.
He's only had Giroud. That's it, Giroud.
Yeah,
in the last 3 years and a half, 40 years old Ibrahimovic, 36 years old Giroud, Rebic and Origi. In the last 3 years and a half, two top fours, a league title won, and then run in Champions League and semi-final. Pioli. So find the coach that can do that with Giroud, 4 years old Ibrahimovic, Origi, and fucking, I don't know, who is that? Rebic. Just find me a coach, please. I want to see it with my eyes. You will see that team.
Yeah, I think the frustration lies in the manner in which we lose some of the games. That can't all fall on the players.
That's how you lose when you have Giroud had a ball.
Yeah, but
he loses and Inter starts a counter-attack, man.
Yeah, but the majority of the fans that are frustrated and pissed off, the reason why
don't talk about the whole fans. I'm sorry, Bilal. Don't talk about a majority of the people, the Milan supporters. They don't blame Pioli, apart from the Milan Twitter and the English speakers, because they think a big and well-known coach will make a difference with this team. Majority of Milan fans in Italy, they don't even mention Pioli as a problem. Pioli is not the problem.
Well, but
don't talk about the fan and the frustration.
We know that's not true, because in February we gave Pioli 4 games. Otherwise, we were going to say.
Do you give Pioli 4 games?
No, you agreed. You agreed.
No, I didn't agree, man.
You did. You said 4 games.
Gonna win those games.
Hey, guys! Let me just read a super chat from Christian Pazmino. Before we move on, we haven't told anybody. Guys, please remember to like the video. Please remember to like the video and help us with the channel, etc., etc. But like the video, guys. Do this. We got 70 people watching, so like the video. Christian Permanizo, thank you for the super chat. $4.99. It says, Maldini said we are not built for 2 tournaments, and we told the owners. They know. Leao renewal, we're almost done. Things will be done. But thank you, Christian, for the super chat.
I only hope that we finish top 4 and we have renewed Leao, because I don't know if that's a done deal. It just needs to be announced, or whether or not he's waiting for us to finish top 4. Because if we don't finish top 4, there's a massive risk that we lose Leao.
No, it's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Okay, fine. The problem is beyond Pioli, because Pioli raises everyone's temperatures if I mention his name. But going back to Roy's point, we didn't replace Romagnoli, we didn't replace Kessie, we haven't replaced Çalhanoğlu, who, by the way, Inzaghi has rejuvenated into being this amazing player. I don't understand where this Hakan Çalhanoğlu has come from, because the one that we had couldn't fucking cross a ball. Now he's taking free kicks like Beckham and corners like Beckham. I mean, this is why I'm saying, I mean, again, does it fall on Pioli that Hakan's now performing, but he wasn't performing under Pioli? Is that an issue? I don't know.
Well,
but
maybe Hakan grow and you get better at football. The more
again, it falls on the management. Then why we let Kessie
maybe Hakan is surrounded by a lot of players that are very good, and when
I'm sorry, Hakan was surrounded by Benacer and Kessie last season, and they were, by everyone's words, the best midfield.
People need to calm down. People need to calm down. You guys are talking about the Milan players like they are the best in the world.
No. Last season, everyone agreed Kessie and Benacer were the best midfielders in the league last season. Everyone says it. We did. Everyone said we had the best midfield.
Dude, but they performed like that. But that does not mean you are objectively. Sometimes you can have a bad season. And by the way, I'm sorry. Krunic is not that midfielder. Krunic is not the level of Barella.
Yeah, but we're not talking about this season. We were talking about why Hakan is now performing and why.
But Hakan is performing because he's entering on his prime. Every football player, when they enter in their prime,
okay,
when they are in their prime,
so
28 years old, they perform.
So if everything comes back to, oh, we didn't replace Kessie, Ramanoli, and everyone else, well, we're doomed for failure then, aren't we? If let's say this season he doesn't
invest. My man. If we don't replace these players and bring in good players, good quality players, yeah, nothing is ever going to move forward.
So then why are we having...
Those are the facts.
So then why are we having these objectives and expectations of finishing top 4 when we don't invest in this team?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a question that I asked this summer. That's a question that I was asking this summer.
What makes us any different to Atalanta? I mean, I'm not even going to compare us to Roma.
Thank you.
Roma strengthened with Dybala, and how we missed out on Dybala. I don't give a shit if he wanted 9 million a year or I think it was 10 million, but net it's 5.5 or something.
Maldini asked 5 million to Jerry to finish the Zaniolo deal. Jerry said no.
Fuck Zaniolo. Zaniolo's got one knee.
Not Zaniolo. Focus on the deal, man. For 5 million, we didn't buy a reinforcement. Forget about it. You think it's a reinforcement or not? Jerry said, "No, I'm not giving you 5 million."
Well, then we're fucked, aren't we?
If this is our strategy, it's going to be very difficult to create
put Jesus Christ and Mohammed in there. Whatever miracle they do, you're still going to lose games.
So, I don't know. I watched the football on BT as opposed to Paramount. BT, what they were saying, I think it was Carl Richardson. What he was saying is, the reason why English Premier League is so far ahead in the Italian league is because we don't have TV rights, and B, we don't have our own stadiums for revenue. So unless those two things happen, the Italian league is going to be fucked.
I mean, listen. I think. Okay, listen. Okay, before we get into that, I just want to read the super chat for Pete. From Pete, thank you, Pete. Pete, that was at the San Siro not too long ago, watching Milan Inter. He gives us a super chat, and he gives a little bit of money for the Mercato for Jerry to give us a bench to compete in all competitions. Thank you, Pete. Really appreciate it. Go ahead.
Thank you, Pete.
Yeah, I just think that, if this is always going to come back to the lack of investment, then irrespective of whoever you put on the sidelines, whether it's Pioli, Mourinho, or Guardiola, we're not going to get anywhere. That's what you guys are saying.
Bilal, Conte is not an idiot.
I love
knows
Conte.
How Milan is run. Conte knows how Milan is run. He's not even picking up the phone. And no, we're not even trying to call him. When people talk about Conte in the they are idiots. They don't understand. They live in Narnia. They don't understand that we are buying what players we're buying.
Yeah, no. This is. Let me just raise a quick point about Conte. This is why I love Conte. He saw. Well, first of all, Mourinho went to Tottenham and he wanted players because he said everyone's fucking spineless there. They're not runners. They give up. And then he left because he fell out with the dressing room. Conte went there and said to the man in charge, "I want this much." These players, this much money invested, and when he didn't get it, he basically forced himself out. He's just.
And I'm sorry, Bilal, but Conte's more because Conte with Juventus said, "I don't want to coach a team that goes to $100 restaurant with only $10 in my pocket."
Fine.
The next season, Allegri made it to the final of the Champions League.
Okay.
Conte was not happy with Inter. Look at his Tottenham, and look at where Inter is now. Inter's in the final of the Champions League, and Tottenham is where?
Sorry, Bilal, 1 second. Man, 1 second, man. Let's say you love Conte.
No, I don't love him. I'm just saying I like his principles.
Conte. I support Milan. I want a solution for Milan. I don't want a solution for Conte.
No.
He's already made 12 million in the last 10 years. He has a solution in his life. What about my Milan, man? I support Milan, not Conte.
Okay,
I need a solution for Milan.
Just tell you why
I know the budget. No, I have to finish this concept here because people are like, "Oh, I respect Conte, I respect that."
No, I don't respect
Milan.
I don't.
The solution for Milan is Pioli. People need to digest this.
Yeah, okay, fine. All I'm saying about Conte is I respect his principles when it comes to management. He knows what he needs.
When it comes to money, not management. Money.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, if I was elected as being Milan's manager, before taking up that job, I'd say, how much money have I got this summer? If I don't have this money, don't expect me to finish top 4. I'll give you a top 6 finish. Goodbye.
Who cares about that, man? I don't give a shit about Conte and his way he's running his life.
Yeah, but Roy,
who fucking
Roy,
cares about it?
I've got a question.
That's the way other coaches do that. Who fucking
Roy,
cares?
Question for you with your coaching
The topic
background.
here is to find a solution for Milan, not how Conte is running his life.
Roy, question for you. You're approached by Milan to take over Pioli this season. Surely your first question is going to be, how much money do we have to reinvest, and what's my objectives for the season? If I don't get 50 million to spend on the team, I'll make you finish top 6. I can't guarantee you top 4. Is that the conversation you'll be having, or would you have a different conversation?
No,
I don't know. We gotta see. The thing about the summer is like, when you
let's say you're approached by Maldini to take over Milan, what would you say to Maldini that you want in place as a manager?
I would say keep Pioli, give him a good bench.
No. They're approaching you as a manager. Roy, you're the new manager.
If I'm a new manager, I say get rid of Rebic, get rid of CDK, get rid of Origi, get rid of Dest, get rid of Balotelli, get rid of Bakayoko, get rid of Tatarusano, get rid of Ibra, get rid of all the dead weight, and replace this dead weight with these players that I'm going to give you, and we're going to look at.
Okay, stop right there. You just said that you're going to give Maldini and the board players names of players that you want, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. They first of all.
And you know what? Pioli asked for Chiesa, right? He didn't get Chiesa. He asked for Berardi. He didn't get Berardi. Yeah. He wanted this. He wanted that. He wanted a lot of things.
He also wanted that striker from Torino. What's his name?
Belotti.
He wanted Belotti, didn't he?
He wanted Belotti, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to ask for some players. If the board then turn around to you and say, "Nah, we're spending 10 million this season. We can't give you any more than that."
I'll say, I'll do my best to achieve whatever you want me to achieve, and
you won't. So what if they say no? You got to finish.
I'm not going to be a fucking crybaby like Conte.
Well, that's the difference. I think that's where we differ. What I would
say. Yeah, but what has Conte achieved, my man? What has Conte achieved?
Bilal, what is the point of this conversation? I'm sorry.
So this is the point is basically
what we are gaining us as a Milan supporter, as Milan as a club. What we are gaining if somebody is crying about and somebody actually does his best. What we gain
as a point is, I'm just saying, if Pioli should be banging on Maldini's door, going, "Give me this money, or I'm going."
Bilal,
Pioli doesn't need money.
If Pioli bangs that door, no one is listening.
Yeah, so then fucking leave.
But what the fuck you care about?
And who's gonna come in, bro?
Yeah, no, because
madness to me.
It's not. It's not madness.
Uncle, you're dead. You care about Pioli leaving or not?
Hold on, gentlemen. We have another super chat. Let me get to it. Thank you so much from Christian Pazmino. Really appreciate it. 9.99. Maldini said more stuff. It would have been much simpler and less expensive for us to go Dybala in the summer instead of CDK. Ownership want younger players who have to grow, but it's risky. Time
again. Ownership. Again.
I just think
Maldini is a yes man, apparently.
But anyway, thank you, Christian, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And guys, remember to click that like button. Do not forget.
Yeah, click the like button and click subscribe as well.
Yes, sir.
I just think that I wouldn't be in a job if I didn't have the tools to do the job. I wouldn't stay in it. That's my point.
No, you cannot say something like this.
I just think any manager in the world...
You cannot say, I'm sorry, Bilal, you cannot say, because here there is other involvement. There is how much Maldini loves the club, how much Maldini thinks that he can turn it out and make it better. How much Pioli thinks that he can actually achieve something. There is a self-belief there. Maybe you don't have self-belief in yourself. These people, Maldini, Pioli, they go to their job and think, I can do even better than what they're with the tool, even better than what I'm supposed to do.
I think
so they have a different mentality. Pioli has won everything as a player. He's been coaching for 30 years. He's not going with that mentality that, if I don't get this, I'm a kid. I'm a 5-year-old kid. I'm gonna go home and stay to the sofa and watch BT Sport. No, man. He wants to work. He's a coach. He wants to be in the training ground. So if that is the path that life is giving to him, that's what he's gonna follow. He's not gonna be like a kid. Oh no, it's not a video game life. You get what is in front of you. You do your best.
I just think we need winners. Mourinho went to United, and when he saw Guardiola got 4 wing backs and Mourinho was crying for a defender, they sacked Mourinho, and the first thing they do is they buy an £80 million defender. So it's the same.
Was that the solution? Was that the solution? Was the £80 million defender the solution?
Who was that defender, though?
Everyone thought.
Well, you will know which one was that. Was the solution to fire Mourinho? Was the solution to fire Mourinho?
No, they got it wrong, but they should have listened to him. Because if he stayed and he had that money to spend, he would have bought Varane in a lot sooner.
You're making 2 examples that make 0 sense because Pioli is not complaining, and no one wants to fire him.
The problem.
You're making an example of a guy that is complaining.
All right, hey guys, listen. There's someone new here. I don't know who he is. I don't know who this person is. He joined a while ago. We've been talking.
Can you hear me?
Yes, who is this?
Yes, hello.
Reveal yourself.
I've been. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you can. Okay. Well, I've been watching for some time and appreciate the content. So I wanted to just come on because this is like one of the biggest games of the season, and I don't know if you guys kind of already said a lot of what I wanted to say, but one new thing. I don't know if this was mentioned already, but regarding like the patterns of play. So if from the very first time he was there, it was like 2020, and like after the lockdown, you saw that there were specific patterns of play that the team would engage in. Although obviously we did have different personnel. Now I think that the very least, obviously, I don't think, or I shouldn't say obviously, but what I do think is that there's blame on all ends, but mainly management. But for the coach specifically, for Pioli, the way he should have approached it, especially in the smaller games, I think that there's been a huge drop off since January, like a really big drop off in the way that the team plays, like the way that they pass, like in terms of build up. Like now it's just long balls. Like I've never ever seen this before. Like from like this Milan past seasons, I've never seen them like their only tactic is long balls, which is kind of ridiculous. I think that's the only thing, especially against smaller teams like low blocks. I think that's the only thing that he really should be criticized for. And obviously the management, they didn't put much investment. I think was there even one good player that came out of this transfer market? I don't think so. So yeah, I just wanted to get that in there and see what you guys thought about that because there were I remember specifically how we played. We would always get 2 goals within like the first 30 minutes, or that was our tactic, and we would always push high and have specific patterns of play between like different. You could see like the interchanges, but now it's just like there's no ideas, no creativity, and I think that even though the players themselves have some blame there, that does also go on the coach. Like you have to be able to, but again, Pioli he's not that sort of coach that takes like mediocre players and then makes them work well together. I think he's more
of
that
coach that takes a mediocre player and makes it.
Well, I would say Conte because if you look at I'm not advertising Conte, but if you look at the Italy in the Euros in 2016, he had like Giaccherini and like they weren't that good.
Did he won the trophy? Did he won the trophy?
No, but it's not about winning. It's about playing well. Italy played very well.
Pioli brought this Milan to the semi-final. It's not about winning. It's about playing. He brought it to the semi-final.
No. I'm not talking about the Champions League. I'm talking about the league and especially against the bottom team.
He won the league as well. He brought some average
at the time.
in the league.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this season.
Giaccherini was probably one of the best in that position.
Okay, sure, but my point is that again, I'm not putting all the blame on Pioli. Like this is very like most of the blame does go to management because Pioli does have a very rigid structure.
A coach that makes an average player good. Give me an example.
There were different. There were specific patterns of play against bottom table teams that would sit back. Even teams like Spezia, like they didn't even sit back. Like, Spezia didn't sit back, and we still weren't able to create anything. And that again, obviously, the players are to blame. But at the same time, when it comes to tactics, regardless of the players, they do have some baseline capabilities on the ball in terms of passing and stuff like that. So the coach has to enforce that somewhat. And so in that sense, and again, I'm not talking about a specific formation. I'm simply talking about patterns of play and creativity in the final third, which I think has taken a massive drop off. Compare the goals that we were scoring and the number of goals we were scoring, even at the first start of this season and last season, compared to the second half of this season.
Can I interrupt you there a second? Do you consider the fact that other teams understand your pattern of football, so you need to evolve? That is a fact, no?
That's my point. That's my point.
Okay, but how do you evolve if they don't give you players?
No. Again, you're not. I'm not blaming Pioli entirely for this. Like 90% of the
Everyone
blame
says
does
I'm
go to
not
management.
blaming Pioli, but they put that but.
No,
If
no,
you're not blaming Pioli, you should
because
not put a but.
no. Because
I
the
do
reason
blame
why
Pioli,
the
Leo.
re the reason why you have to look at both sides because you're in a tight spot. Like you can't just complain and be like, oh, management. Like you have to think about, okay, what am I gonna do right now? I'm in a tight spot,
Well,
and even though I'm in a tight spot, I still have to figure out something.
yeah, but
And
in that
of
tight
course,
spot, Messias needs to find the solutions. Players that are not good need to find the
yes,
solution.
yes, but there is still some blame, even if
Yeah,
it's 5%, even if it's
if I am the
10%.
Argentina coach, okay, I need to find a solution. Okay, I'll put Messi on the field.
Yeah, but again,
That's the
that's not my
solution.
point. Like, of course, he has bad players. That's not the point. I'm talking about specific patterns of play and the way that we approach the game. Look,
Okay, I
remember
remember
what I said. No,
the
no, wait.
part.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Remember what I said. The first thing I said was this: that when the last season and also the start of the season, we had a specific game plan. We were very intense within the first like 30 minutes. We would always try to score two plus or one or two goals. Space would kill the game off. And we also had very specific passing play in the final third that was creative. Like we wouldn't just like, this game we had so many back passes, like so many, and it was just long balls. So
Back
like
passes.
those two things is what I'm focusing on.
Who did those back passes?
Everyone, like it was from Tonali, from Krunic, from
Not
basically
Pioli.
everyone who's
Pioli
going
was not
back.
in the pitch to do those back passes.
Yeah, but the coach
So do you
has to
think the
have some
tactics of
level of
Pioli are to
accountability.
tell the players to go back passes?
Yeah, but the coach has to. If it was like a one game thing, I'd understand. But ever since January, it's been a huge drop off in terms of how we develop like the play,
Exactly. Why
and
is
that
not the players? Why you are sure that it's Pioli is not and not the players?
it's I'm not saying it's one or the other. I'm saying that there is still some blame. I said it goes on everyone. Of course, the players are bad, the management
He's
didn't
not
invest,
making
but
the problem
he
one
needs to do
dimensional.
something. He needs to do a little bit more at
Can
least because
you?
I
But
don't think
how can you do something when your options are?
No,
I
no, Laird.
again,
again.
Rebic 2 goals, Origi 2 goals in 38 games.
Yeah, I know they're bad. I know
Giroud
they're
10
really
goals.
bad.
We
They're
all
horrible. Yeah.
together, all our attacking department. If you take out Leao together, they don't make the Lautaro goals. And you want
Yeah, but
solution
some
from
coaches,
Pioli.
listen, some coaches are good at taking really bad players and
Who
just
is
making
this
them work
coach? Who are
together.
these coaches, man? Can you explain me who are these
Listen,
coaches?
listen, listen,
Give
listen,
me
listen.
a
Just let
season
me
of a
finish.
coach that won
Just
a
let me
title
finish,
with
please.
with.
I'm not asking them to win a title. I'm asking them to win against Spezia. Like, come on. Like, I'm asking very small things here. I'm not asking crazy things. I understand he's limited. I understand the management didn't do much. I'm not even blaming him that much. I'm blaming him for a very small portion. And the reason why is because I think that there's another extreme. There's one extreme of saying it's all Pioli's fault. There's also another extreme of, giving him no blame whatsoever. He has his mistakes, and we should point them out. I think we should still stay with him because I think he's the best option financially. And as long as we invest, I think he'll do fine. But at the same time, there is he's rigid in the sense that he wasn't really he's a good man manager, so he's good at like keeping the morale high even when we're losing or whatever, and he doesn't really lose the dressing room, which is good. But at the same time, when things are going bad and when he doesn't have like the players, he can't really he doesn't really I know he's not the person on the field, but he has to direct them even with the worst players to create certain patterns of play in the final third, whether it's like what quick 1-2s, which we had like nothing of, and we can't just give it to Brahim and expect him to just
My
like
thing is
uh,
this: like, if you have,
horrible.
if you give Pioli like a really good team, a really good roster, and then he fucks up, then we can have this conversation. Until that
Yeah, I
happens,
mean, I agree with
But I
you.
had some.
I just
But
cannot have that conversation.
Roy, can I have the conversation about Pioli though? Because
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not saying he should go, or I do believe we can do better still. And the issue of the second half of the season is not new. It's not something we just discovered now. This is happening with Pioli since we signed him. Second half of the season is always shit. So we go from first to seventh to averaging almost what Udinese should be averaging. And we cannot take the reasoning of only depth as the issue here. Because this is if we focus on one dimension of the issue, there is a
It is
problem
the
also in
most
defense.
important. It is the most
I don't
important.
think it is the most
Oh,
important
of
when you
course it
lose
is.
four derbies, zero goals, almost zero chance created. That is a clear chance that we can say, oh, we were that close actually. No, we were not. We were way
How
we
many
created in all the games.
how many
Now
goal scorers did the
let me
Inter?
finish please my
But
point.
how many players from Inter
I'm
score
gonna
in these
answer the
derbies?
question, but I want to
How
get to
many
the
of them were
question.
strikers? How many were going to strike? Dzeko, Lautaro, Lukaku.
Man. Come on, man.
No, but you have to. No, but you cannot. Sorry, I'll be quiet. I swear I'll be quiet. If you're going to have this discussion, you cannot just say that the depth issue is not there and it's not important.
I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying you're looking at it from only one dimension, which is wrong.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, you are, guys. Because whenever we try to say Pioli should have done better, you refuse it. You refuse the statement altogether. And I'm like, no. When you think about sports, there are lesser teams. There are much better teams. I believe that many teams are much lesser than Inter and still manage to win in one game in 4 games. So let's not make it to that point of, oh, he doesn't have that, so he's excused. No, you are excused
I agree.
for not winning the league. You're not excused for not making top 4, for example.
I mean, today Inter wasn't doing shit. They said, okay, let's take out Lautaro. Let's take out Di Marco. 2 players that have been badass for Inter. Let's put Gosens and Lukaku. They score.
Let's look at today's game. So you have Messias, who's been very average since the beginning of the second half. He takes a yellow. We're all waiting for the sub. Everyone is waiting for the sub. And he only makes that sub.
And which sub?
Inter scores.
Which sub is going to bring a... Who's better than Messias? Who's better than Messias in the bench?
We're not talking about better. We're talking about a player who's bad on the pitch. I don't care if he's Messi, if he's
And
Ronaldo.
who is better than Messias on the bench?
When it comes to football or sports, and you watch some player, let's say he's Maradona, but on that day he's shit.
No, you see, the thing is this: if I was Man City, and I'm saying, okay, Bernardo Silva sucks. Let me put in Mahrez. Okay, now I have an argument. So now you tell me, Messias is sucking. Messias is sucking. Who's in the bench is better than Messias?
Okay, so let's look at Inter revenues for the last 2 years. They made much more than us.
Why are you deflecting? Answer the question.
Much less than us. Sorry, I'm not deflecting. I'm talking because we're talking about them having such a big team, and us not having that. And I think we won the league just last year. We're just forgetting that we won the league. And we
didn't have a semi-final. We didn't have Champions League semi-final. We played the best team. We played our first 11.
And even in the second half, we dropped major points. We finished, I think, 6th or in the return games. This is not a new issue.
And who finished first?
We can talk about quality, but for me, quality does not come only to players. It's the quality of the coach that needs to improve as well. He needs to learn faster. You can't keep doing the same shit over and over again. You need to learn some of your mistakes. You play 4 derbies. You should learn. We beat this Inter team.
Can you answer this question? Can you answer this question?
Roy, we beat this.
Who do you put? No, but please, Anwar, I'm asking you. Please answer this question. Messias sucks. Messias is playing like shit. I need a solution. Who is on the bench?
Alexis there. You're already out. You're already losing this game. You're not.
Alexis is more defensive. Alexis is more defensive.
Hear me out, Troy. Messias is not. He's losing balls. He's losing your possession every time he has the ball. He's on the yellow. He's gonna get booked again if he continues. You can't let him run again. And the sub was not even ready. After the first goal, he was like, "Okay, Alexis, now you can." No,
Roy. One second. Let me finish. 1 second. Let me finish here. Let me finish, and then I'll be quiet. I promise you, I'll be quiet. But you said, okay, put Alexis. But Alexis is a defensive player. You need to score goals. You need to score goals. You need to score goals. You don't have anyone better than Messias to score goals for you. You can put Alexis, and maybe he's going to do one of his crazy runs and score a random goal. But Alexis doesn't provide you offensive output. He provides you balance. So it's a problem with the roster. It's a problem with the roster. How the roster was built poorly.
But we agree with that already. Like, the roster is horrible. We already know
the only problem that I have today is, like, how is Messias injured on Saturday for Spezia, but then you start today? That's my only problem. You cannot be injured when we need points in the league also, and then you're gonna start today.
You guys should get.
I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet from now. You guys talk. I'll be quiet.
You guys should get better problems in life, because these are not problems, in my opinion. The fact that your problem is Messias instead of Selemakers, you guys need better problems, because this is not a problem. This is not gonna change the output of the game. This is not gonna change the output of a 5-year project if you keep insisting with players You guys focus always on the wrong point. The problem is not where you guys are focusing. The problem is the striker. The last 15 years of my life, I haven't seen a proper striker play for Milan. The last 15 years of my life. 15 is half of my life. I haven't seen a proper striker play for Milan. The last 3 years and a half with Pioli, I've seen in that position 40 years old Ibrahimovic, 37 years old Giroud, Rebic, and Origi. This is an issue that no coach can solve. You can put Guardiola, cannot do anything with these players.
Laird, let me ask you a question, please.
No, I need to finish. This is a rant now. A football team needs a spine. The spine is the striker, the midfield, the center backs, and the goalkeeper. We didn't invest on the center back this summer. I told everyone that Kalulu and Tomori had overachieved. We didn't do that. The midfield, we lost Kessie, which I don't rate him a lot, but still, it was not a midfield top class in the world. So we didn't add other players. And the strikers, I repeat it again, just to remind everyone, I rounded up. In the last 4 years, it's been Ibrahimovic, Rebic, 37 years old Giroud, and Origi.
But Laird, let me ask you this.
You need to digest this reality.
Okay, but Inter does not have Maradona, Laird.
24 goals, Lautaro Martinez. Martinez in the last 3 years has scored 24 goals. He's 25 years old, entering his prime.
Believe me, I understand you. I know
Lukaku has scored 300 goals in his career. He's at his prime.
Listen to me, Laird. Could we have done better? You watched this Milan play. You watched Pioli play with this Milan. Could we have done better in the 2 games?
Dude, we have done better. That does not mean that we should do better every fucking day.
Yes, but for derby,
no, that's not possible.
0 goal. Laird,
that's not possible. You need to give him a fucking striker.
But forget striker. Even Spezia, they play 4 games against Inter, Laird. They win one.
17 years old. 17 years without a proper striker. 17 years. Do you understand how much is 17
We're both
years?
Milan fans, Laird. I agree. We need a striker.
No, you guys forget about these small details sometimes.
I told you, even in the summer, we should sign Dybala. I was screaming on top of my lungs. We should
you heard Maldini, what Maldini says.
Yes,
you need to pay attention to the interview.
I know the reality.
Maldini says, I wanted Dybala, but the management does not want old players. They want young profiles like CDK.
But guys, we watched this Milan, the same team, the same squad, the same roster. Beat them beginning of the season and completely
and that's not, but that's what I'm explaining you. That's not normality. That's not normal.
I think it's normal for the Scudetto winners to beat Inter. It's not
normal to go through 4 seasons with Ibrahimovic, Giroud, Origi, and Rebic. It's not fucking normal. Stop normalizing things that are not normal for Milan. That's not normal. Stop it.
No, I think when you compare Lukaku, Lautaro with Leao, Giroud, it's not that far. Yes, maybe Giroud is not as good as Dzeko or Lukaku, but Leao is still a very strong player.
I'm sorry, man. Inter had that piece of shit of how's it called? Argentinian one.
Pieces of shit, man.
Dude, listen 1 second. Inter had that piece of shit of Argentina. How's it called? The place in Turkey. How's it called? Icardi. Icardi was scoring 25 goals a season, man. Inter had Icardi, and the management spent 80 million on Lukaku. They have Lautaro. They bring in Dzeko, Dzeko would be our best striker. If you consider, basically, we've been playing with players like Dzeko in the last 4 years. Inter is buying Dzeko at the end of this whole thing, and he still has Lautaro. We don't have Lautaro.
I have a question though. Who do you think has a better team, Milan or Fiorentina?
I don't care. I don't care anymore.
No, please go with
Dude,
me.
I want a striker. I'm not
yes, I want a striker too. Maldini wants a striker
in. I don't give a shit. Anwar, listen to me. I don't want a new coach and Giroud starting next season. I want Pioli and a fucking 25 years old striker that scores 25 goals next season.
Where do you get this striker? Okay.
I don't give a shit. Find it. Because when I tell you when you get a
we
better
give a
coach
shit
than
about
Pioli, you
Milan,
don't know what
Laird.
to
Come
say.
on.
So I don't give a
I'm
shit.
asking you
Guys,
very
like the
limited
video,
questions.
guys. Lion is on
Where do
I don't
fire.
we
give a
Like
find
the
the
shit.
video.
Just
I don't
striker?
give a
asking
shit.
questions.
Roy,
People are
Roy,
saying
because he's
suck
asking for
Pioli. No,
something.
fuck off.
We all know.
I want
We all
Pioli
know that
and a
we
proper
need a
striker.
striker. Where do we find the striker that who's willing to
Find
come
it.
to
Go
this?
and find it. Go and find it.
But
Don't
help me
suck
understand
Pioli.
you, Laird.
I don't
I don't know.
care. If you suck Pioli, you haven't solved the problem. And if this Giroud
I'm not
starts
saying
next
Sak
Can I
Pioli
just
is the
ask one
issue, is the
question?
solution, Laird. You still got me wrong.
No,
I'm
no,
not,
we need to go to the point. I know what you're saying or what you're not saying. We need to
I'm
go to
saying
the
that
point.
the embarrassment is shared between the
Stop with
players,
the
the
going
coach.
around the problem. Stop
No,
with saying,
I'm not going
but the
around. I'm
tactics, but
not.
this
Listen,
player, this change.
listen.
No. Let's focus on the problem here.
It's not
You suck.
the problem is not a number 9. Let's
No,
focus
the
on the
problem
problem.
is the number 9.
We
The
won a
problem
Scudetto without
is
a
the
number
biggest
9.
problem we've been having. Is the number 9. He's the
Okay, we
number
won a
9.
Scudetto without a number 9 there.
And
Ibra
that's
played
not normal.
15
And
games.
that's not normal, Anwar. It's not going to happen again.
Okay, I understand it's not normal, but because Inter is not Maradona filled with talent, so we can still beat them without a proper 9. That's what I'm trying to get at, man.
Dude, I don't give a shit beating Inter. I can lose against
Listen,
Inter.
Lair,
I want to see
I think
a
you
proper
gave a
number
big
9
shit
next
about
season.
beating Inter and losing to them 4 derbies in 1 year.
I'll be honest with you. Anwar, let's make it simple now. Let's make it simple. Between winning this game today and playing next season with Giroud, or losing this game today and buying a proper number 9 next season, I'll lose the second option. I choose the second option. Because winning today is hiding big problems that we have.
Lair, can I
We
ask
are
one question?
wasting a great roster. This is a great roster that can be improved, but it's playing without a fucking number 9. We are playing without a number 9.
Okay. But okay, I get your issue. You're right. Let's forget it now. Okay, let's push it aside. We agree with you. All of us. Maldini agrees with you, Laird. Jerry does not. That's the issue. Now let's focus on what we can change, what we can actually sustain and see the change in it. We have a coach that has been here for 4 years. And from what I see, and I watch a lot of fucking football, not just in Milan, many different countries, cultures, and philosophies of football. When a team gets struck, when there is a wall that you cannot get past, you start developing new ideas, new mechanisms. And you need to see that after 3 years. So after 3 years of work, you can see that, okay, so if we try this and it doesn't work, now we have to try this way. We don't have that till now. So it's either we go counters on Leao or we lose.
Why we do that? Because we don't have a number 9. We have a 37 years old up front.
Do you think Fiorentina has a proper number 9, Leo?
Fiorentina is not playing a semi-final of Champions League, Anwar.
Well, they're also playing a European competition and still playing good football.
We can win the Conference League. You want to win the Conference League next season?
No.
Let's ask Pioli to lose another 3 games and play Conference League next season.
Listen,
and we can win that if you want. You want to win the Conference League, Anwar?
Yeah, please don't focus on Conference League. I don't care about that shit.
Fiorentina.
I'm saying that they play 2 games a week. That's what I'm trying to get at. You focus on
and they're losing in Serie A and maybe drawing or winning in Europe in Conference League.
I think they're doing really good in Serie A for the team they have.
Well, they're doing good in Serie A. Let me tell you what they're doing in Serie A. They are 8, 49
so it's
points.
good for the team they have. Yes, it's good.
Oh, it's good. And Milan is good.
I think the team's better. They are above them are better. I think Atalanta are better. All the teams above them are better.
For the team we have. Milan is good for the team we have.
What I'm trying to get at, Laird, is that even if you play 2 games a week, we can question depth. Yes, you're right. We all agree on the depth. Mercato, we all said it was shit. So there's no new surprise here. But what we can say that the technical side dropped a bit compared to last year. When Pioli was facing a big mural last year, he still found some way to get past it. And because he prepared for it, I don't see that this season. I saw him lost.
Dude, but you cannot pass your life preparing on the unachievable every fucking Sunday.
Okay, Laird, can I ask you one question?
You want Pioli to prepare the unachievable every fucking Sunday.
I'm not saying achievable, Laird. I'm saying beat Cremone, get 2 points out of Cremonese in the season.
My God.
1 point out of Spezia.
Let me just ask you, do you think Pioli has made any mistakes? And if so, like what mistakes were there, like throughout the season?
Yes, he's made mistakes, but dude.
Okay, what were they?
Everyone in Milanello's made mistakes. Why you guys want
to
what
were they?
I'm not still
because we
till
can't
now. We
change.
didn't say sack Pioli. We just said that
Okay,
the
Exactly.
blame
okay,
is shared,
We
okay,
man.
said we'd
okay. I'm
continue.
sorry. I'll
Yeah.
explain it to you. I'll explain it to you. If Pioli decides one game not to play Giroud and play Rebic, your eyes, because you don't like Pioli, you think that is a Pioli mistake. My
No,
eyes,
question
which
No,
of
no,
no,
Giroud,
listen to me.
Rebic.
that's not what I
My
asked.
eyes, just to explain it, just to make it simple to you. I know your eyes think that is Pioli mistake. My eyes, which I don't give a shit about Pioli, is Jerry Cardinale has given Pioli 37 years old Giroud and Rebic. That's the reality.
Okay, but
if you don't want to digest that reality, you can always say, but Pioli needs to do better stuff.
you're repeating the same things that we all agree with. I'm just asking, do you
But
think
if you
Pioli
agree
made
with
any
this, how can
mistake?
you blame Pioli if you agree that
Because
Rebic and
because
Giroud are not good enough to play
because
for
it's
Milan?
not about because we're already past that. Like that we just be talking to each other about the same thing. I'm
But
talking
I'm
about something
sorry,
else.
if you're not good, you
All I'm asking is if Pioli made any mistakes, and if so, what mistakes were there? What were they throughout the season? Because if he did, then that's still valid criticism because we already agree on everything
okay.
else. So this is the only point of contention. So
Pioli
what
made.
mistakes do you think he made?
In my opinion, that question
I'm
is
trying to
answered
understand.
with
I'm
this
trying
with
to
this
understand
answer.
what is Pioli's
Sorry.
mistake.
For me,
Okay, so
Pioli
Laird,
was given a roster where he has a lot of possibilities to make mistakes. It's up to the management to give the coach a roster where he doesn't have so many possibilities to make mistakes,
Yeah, I
essentially.
agree, but at the same time, if he did make mistake, there's still some blame that goes to him, even if it's 1%. You understand? So I
Listen,
Yeah,
just think that
Leao
it's a
makes
more nuanced
mistakes.
view. Yeah,
Everybody
of
makes
course. Of course, the players are also to blame, but I just think that you guys like go overboard, go to the other extreme of saying Pioli does nothing wrong. And I'm asking you, like, what does he do wrong? And you guys, and when I pointed out what I thought
No,
he did
it's
wrong,
we're
hard
not.
to me. It's
Roy,
hard
We're
to me
not
you
to
guys
there.
said
as a
reply to
no.
coach
you.
yourself, sorry, Roy,
Okay,
as a
okay,
coach
I'll
yourself,
explain it to you.
Laird,
I'll
Laird,
explain
please
it to you.
let me ask. I want to hear Roy on this as well because he was a coach himself. So when you stayed 4 years in a club, you have only one dimension, one approach to the game for 4 years, and it hurts you every second part of the season. Every second part of the season, every team already knows what you do, so they already know how to tackle you, and you still don't come up with Plan B.
Stop with this plan B thing, man.
Okay,
Stop
why
with this
stop?
plan B thing.
Listen,
It's a fucking fact, man.
it's not so easy to just translate that. The only thing that I can relate to as a coach with my experience is that it goes always down to rosters. When I had really good rosters, it was easy to be the coach of that team. When I had rosters that weren't very good, it was more difficult. It just comes to that simple concept. Like when I had really good players, when I was coaching a team with really good players, it was very easy for me to tell the players, I want you to play like this. And they
Okay,
did it
Roy.
because they were very
I'm
good.
not forget
When I
Inter,
had
forget Champions League. Now let's talk about the smaller teams, mid teams. You face them even with a lesser
Anwar, I'm
roster than
sorry.
last season.
Dude, Anwar,
You get 2 points out of 2 games.
the small teams, I'll tell you the small team situation here. They fucking park the bus.
I
Spaces
know.
are
He
tight.
knows.
Okay, spaces are tight. You want to have a different tactics, so more possession, more one-twos, more tight spaces to find solutions. You need better fucking players, man, because Krunic and Messias are not going to do that.
so
Giroud is not able to do what you're asking for.
We don't see
You
any of the
cannot apply
mechanisms on the
so
pitch
different
so
yet.
th-
tactics
this is
if
the
you don't
thing.
have players that can apply those tactics.
If
But at
I'm the
least you
coach,
see
Yeah, but
let's
those
say
some
I
tactics
something.
weren't even
Roy,
tried to
Roy,
be applied
please.
in the first
But
place.
at
listen,
least
listen,
If
Anwar.
they had tried
If
one
But you
twos, for example,
you see something. You see something. You see that if we had maybe a better player than Hakan, we could have done better in that situation.
yeah,
But you
yeah.
still see the 2 passes, the 3 passes. We don't have that shit. So the
But
mechanism is not even there.
for me, the solution to break down a low block team is to get a player like Dybala. A player like
Yeah,
Dybala
true,
I told you
will
this, Roy. I
but
remember the
we're in the
old
middle of
okay,
the
but we
Sunderland
got
season.
days.
CDK. We got
Why you fucking
CDK.
blame
That's
Pioli for that, man?
We agree on that though. That's not the point. The
But
point
now
is
let's
that
say he got
Dude,
after
CDK
but
markets are
already.
done,
What you
I
do
can
next?
tell
after you do,
CDK all day, hey, when you get there, do this 1-2 with Origi and do this, and then do this dribble, and then put it in the back of the net, and then go celebrate. I can tell him that all day, but is he gonna do it? With Dybala, I don't need
of
to
course,
tell him.
most of the
I just gonna put Dybala in that position. Dybala's gonna do it by himself.
that's true. But look,
Yes,
think
I
about it
get
like this:
that.
all the players that we have like this season, they gained their recognition over the course of a few years. So
Yeah.
when Pioli first came, a lot of the players were nobodies, right? And so even regardless of how much credit you want to give to the players or the coach, there was still something that Pioli did that was able to create a team that had distinct styles
Dude,
of
but
play
no, I'm
and a
sorry,
very
man,
aggressive
but you don't
attitude.
understand. Sorry, you don't
Again,
understand the
again,
basic of life.
listen.
The basic of life is
No,
like this. Listen to
the
me.
basic of life is that when you're doing something over and over and you get the same
No,
result, you have to
no,
change it
no,
up a
no,
little bit. So you
no.
have to give
Listen to
Pioli
me,
a little bit of blame, at least a
dude.
little bit, for the fact that
Listen.
we did not, we're not even able to be like the lowest of
I,
teams,
I,
and we
I'm
didn't adapt
sorry,
at all.
Marco. You're Marco, yeah?
Yeah,
Is your name Marco?
yeah, it's a pseudonym.
Okay. Anyway, so our players, when Pioli gets our group of players, they are one. Pioli improves them to five. Now, to go from 5 to 10 is mastering a quality of someone. And that is extremely hard, unless you are an exceptional player. So you can ask players like Theo Hernandez, Leao, Mike Magnan to go from 5 to 10. You can ask them. You can be a coach that you can bring them to from 5 to 10. Players like Krunic, they cannot go from 5 to 10. They achieved already that 5, 6 level. That's it. They would not move on. A player like Messias, he achieved a 6 level. He cannot go at 10. Now, to win again the league, go back in the top four, you need players that comes from 6 and go to 10. So Pioli had the surprise effect. No one, all the teams, a lot of teams underestimated us. There was the hunger, the willing of winning. There was a lot of things that were playing part of it. And these players went from 1 to 6. Now, from 6 to 10, most of them, they cannot do that. Most of them are squad players. So you need to give better players to Pioli to go from 6 to 10. Pioli can go from 0 to 6 with tactics, grouping the players together and all things. Now to master and become better, you need better players. These players are not coachable the way you think to bring
No, no,
Laird,
I
Milan
agree.
to
I
that
agree he has
level.
bad
we
players.
won
But
seven
this goes
games out
back
of
to my first question. My first question was,
21st games.
what mistakes did Pioli make? That's all I asked, and I still
Does
haven't gotten
not
an answer.
consider a mistake if that player cannot improve anymore.
Okay, don't even think about it in terms of
Laird,
mistakes.
we won
What are
seven
some
games
things
in
that Pioli could have done better? What are
2023.
some
That's
things
crazy.
tactically and in terms of man management that Pioli could have done better? If you can't give me a single thing, then obviously you that means you think Pioli did nothing wrong or he couldn't have done
Okay,
anything better.
I'll tell you what. Pioli could have parked the bus against the Inter.
Yes, the
Yes,
first game.
we
Okay,
Yes.
agree.
okay,
There you go.
okay,
Finally said something.
okay. Pioli,
So obviously,
me as a
obviously, there's
Milan
some
fan,
blame to him.
as a Milan fan, we can park the bus and win the Champions League parking the bus, and I will be happy.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be happy
But
too.
that's not progress.
It
Why is it
is,
not
Laird.
proper? It worked against
It's
Tottenham and
not
Napoli.
progress because you are lying to yourself. That
But
parking the
2003, we
No,
won
that
you're
it by
not
doesn't
gonna
make any
park
parking
the
the
sense.
bus.
bus.
You cannot park the bus against Cremonese. You need to actually play football. You
Yes, but
cannot
we
park the
played,
No,
bus
we're talking
against
about.
Spezia.
Laird,
You,
many
that's the
times.
reason. I'm sorry. That's the reason why we don't win against these small teams. Because with
I'm
big
sorry,
teams,
Laird.
with no, I need to finish this concept.
Go ahead.
With big teams like Napoli, we park the bus, we win the game, and we think, oh, we are amazing. At the moment we actually need to control the game, dominate the game, unlock defenses, we are not good because we are not parking the bus. So see what that brings you? That makes you win a game, that makes you win money, go through the Champions League, which is good, but it does not give you progress to actually be a bigger beast to win every different game. So what I want that Milan to become a bigger beast and win every type of game, dominate and win in Champions League without parking the bus. To go through that process
Okay, so
is not because Pioli is buying better players.
okay, let me ask you this: 2003, 2007, were we the best footballing team in the world, like playing football,
No,
according to you?
In
no.
But we still
2003,
won.
yes. In my
We
opinion,
were
yes.
not. In 2003, we won 2 draws and we went to the
Okay,
final.
well, okay,
Final
I
we
think
were,
also a
I
we
think
draw
we
were.
and won
have
by
in
penalties.
2003. I
So
think we had either the best roster or the second best roster in the world.
Okay, but my
I don't
answer,
think so. I think Madrid
we
United
were
had better
not. We
roster
were
as well.
not. At least listen to me. I'm not talking about roster. I'm talking about football. What we were playing in the pitch. We were
We
not.
were not. That's what I'm trying to get at, Laird.
Yeah. Well, what do you
You
want
don't
to say,
have to
that?
be the best to beat the team against you. That's what I'm trying to get
Okay.
at.
Well, but
We
we
were not the
struggled
best. We
against
still
Inter
beat
and
them.
Juve, but before that, in 2003, we're kicking ass. We're
Roy, I'm
dominating
not trying
teams.
to get at the past and focus on where we were. No, no, no. what I'm trying to get at is the approach of Ancelotti that season. He knew he didn't have the best team. He knew it for a fact. He will
Okay,
tell you
okay,
he didn't
yeah,
have the best team.
exactly. Okay, and he won the
But
Champions League.
and he went to with the approach of winning the league, not the I'm gonna play the best football I have.
No, he
So
won the Champions League. He won the Champions League.
yes, but
Are
he
you
didn't win it with
comparing
the
that
best
roster
football
to
there.
this roster?
No,
I'm
but
not
I'm
comparing-
gonna, Roy,
come
Roy,
on, man.
I'm gonna
No,
pass
but this
it.
is bad.
Where do you wanna
It's
go?
not a good
Anwar, where you wanna
comparison.
go? Where are you gonna go with your thoughts?
Well, let me finish first. What I'm
Yeah,
trying to
go.
get at is the approach of playing that final was compact. We played a very compact game. Even against Spurs, we played a very compact game. Against Napoli, a very compact game. When you come to Inter, you just lost in the derby frenzy. And I saw that on the pitch. The first few minutes, and I remember telling everyone in the chat, we survived the 21st minutes, we qualified. He didn't apply it the very first. We were 6 minutes without Ben Nasser or 5, and he continued playing, waiting for Ben Nasser to come back. No, fucking, I don't care. That game you can't win it without Leao. You need to, okay. So I'm gonna concede the game. I'm gonna wait for the return game. He just
Okay,
batted
Anwar,
everything on the
E-Park is the
first
boss.
game.
Dude, E-Park
I'm
is the
saying
boss.
the approach in itself,
Okay,
just
yeah, and
not this game.
dude, I'm
Laird,
telling you, E-Park is the boss, and he gets a 0-0.
it's good.
And
You go
E-Park
to
is
the
the boss.
second
Listen,
game
E-Park is
differently,
the boss
Laird.
again, the second game, and we win 1-0 counter-attack with Leao.
And we win with penalties. I don't care. We go
Yeah,
through.
and we win again. Guess what? The Sunday after against a small team, you don't win because you are parking the bus. You're not evolving. Your management is not buying you players. You're not growing as a football club, and you're still 0.1.
But I'm telling you, Ancelotti still didn't win the league, but managed to win the Champions League
But
because he
fucking hell,
parked the
man,
bus in
Ancelotti had
Champions League.
Seedorf. Seedorf at
But
that point
Yes,
already
other
won the
teams had
Champions League.
Ronaldo, had Zidane. Yeah,
But we
all teams had players.
destroyed Zidane. We destroyed
That's
that
what I'm telling you.
team.
Every team had a very good quality of players.
Our
It's not
team
just
back
one
then was
Zidane.
we destroyed Real Madrid back in
Anwar,
2003.
Anwar, the fucking documentary, Ancelotti tells Berlusconi, buy me Nesta, we win the Champions League. The fucking documentary they're going to do about Maldini is going to be, I had to pick between CDK and Botman. Nesta was the best defender in Serie A at that time. Ancelotti goes to Berlusconi and says, buy me Nesta, we win the Champions League. And what Berlusconi did, opened the wallet and bought Nesta. That's the reality of the thing. And Maldini maybe told Jerry Cardinali, buy me Botman and CDK, and probably I'll go top, I'll win the league again. Or I'll go top 4 again. And you can make your money.
Okay, let me
Jerry
ask you
Cardinali says, no, I'm sorry, Moneyball, let me check the Excel
That's Laird.
sheet.
I agree
Let
with
me
you
see
on
what's
the
going
money
on with the
side.
numbers. No, I can't afford that. Move, buy Chao and manage to finish top 4 and do whatever you want in Champions League. That's the talk, was it?
But Laird, on the direction, we agree with you. On the ownership, we agree with you. We said it before.
No, I
even they got
explain the difference between that Milan 2003 and this one.
Yes,
You
you
don't
can
need to
say
agree,
that the
this is
owners
fact.
were behind Berlusconi, which is different for Pioli. The owners were not behind him. So yes, you have a very good point.
Not about being behind, man. There is an owner that buys the best defender. It's like buying the best defender of the Premier League.
But let me ask you
Berlusconi
this.
went and bought the best defender of Serie A.
Laird,
For Ancelotti.
first game, he parks the bus. Don't you think starting Kier was a mistake, for example? From a technical perspective, as a coach.
Well, was a mistake playing it against Napoli?
But no. He just came back from an injury. No minutes in his feet.
Now.
No.
Was a mistake to play Kier against Napoli?
Context is important. Both him and Tomori came back from injury without minutes in the weekend, and they're starting a semi-final. Do you think, from a technical perspective, this is a bet or a very good decision?
Anwar, after the mess happened, of course, is a mistake. But
I think he could have started with Thiago, for example. I think Thiago deserves a starting position.
We live the future now. We've seen what happened. But when you're making a decision,
the whole season
when Pioli makes that decision, he does not know that.
The whole season I've been saying start Thiago. He's ready. He's ready to play.
But he start here against Napoli and we win both the games. We go through.
Yeah, but if we want Pioli to improve, then we also have to notice and be very particular when he does make mistakes.
Can you have like a self-criticism
fair
about yourself and say it is too easy to give an opinion now? It is too easy.
I've been saying this opinion before the game there. I've been saying start Pioli way before.
Well, but for you it's easy because you're not involved emotionally.
Not easy. I'm saying it because I see mistakes on the pitch and I see personal individual files of players that should be covered, and they're not. They're just forsaking the
All
place.
of
What
us
about
is
all of the easy
what I'm
losses?
explaining to you that is
Sassuolo,
not, you
Udinese,
cannot
Cremonese.
consider. I'm sorry. What I'm explaining to you, you cannot consider that as a mistake. It's just a technical choice
Okay,
that he
okay,
paid off
that's fine.
against
If you don't
Napoli.
want to
He didn't
classify it as
pay
a
off
mistake,
against
that's okay.
Inter.
But it's something he can improve on, right? That's what I'm
Yes,
trying to
that's
get
what
at.
I'm
Like,
saying.
okay,
But you no,
that's
but
all
you
we're trying to
cannot.
say.
I'm sorry.
You're
No, no, no,
saying
no, no. You
you're saying
cannot
that he
improve
couldn't have
on
improved
getting
on
the
that.
formation right every fucking time, man. That is statistically not
But
possible.
he got it
It's
only
not
seven
about it's
There
times
not
is
out of
about
no
being
21.
perfect. It's just
dude.
about
There is no
seeing where
coach
you made
that
a
gets
mistake.
the formation statistically right
That's
every
you're
time.
changing the topic. You're changing it.
But no,
Look,
no,
all
that's
we're
the
asking you.
topic. You
No,
no,
all
I'm
we're
sorry. No, no.
asking is if
Let's put it
could
in
he have done
statistics.
better?
We
That's
played
it.
22 games, won
No,
7 of
you
them.
say this is something he can improve. What you're saying that he
Yes,
can
can he
improve
improve?
picking the players every fucking week.
Yeah, could he improve on that in the future?
No one can
Yes.
improve that, man.
What?
It's
No,
What
impossible.
are
I
you
think he
saying?
can, Layers. I think he can.
It's
He
shown
can
statistically that
definitely
even
improve.
coaches have picked the wrong player.
That's where
Listen,
we
look,
disagree, Layer. I think there is
it's
still a
not
lot of
only
room for improvement for Pioli.
of course, and we want him to be like we don't want to change managers like he's
What I've
obviously
been
done a
saying the
lot.
whole
So
season, Marco, is I want Pioli to learn faster. I don't say
exactly,
he
that's
Something
doesn't
you
what
learn.
I
cannot.
said.
He
And the
learns
other thing
This
is
slowly.
is
this.
something you cannot improve, man. Listen to me.
I think
If
he
Kier
can,
It
plays
is
Layers.
against
something you can
Napoli,
improve because
Pioli
you
was
just
not a
said he could have
champion
improved
coach,
it.
Layers. He improved to become this coach. So he can still improve. He's a human being,
I'm
bro.
so no. You
Exactly.
guys live in a weird world. I'm sorry.
No, man. He was
No,
he was
just because something
Kier
is
coaching
unlikely doesn't mean he can't improve.
low table
No,
clubs
it's not
before
about
Milan,
being
Layers.
unlikely, man. It's Kier plays
That
two
is that's
incredible
your
games
point. Your
against
argument is that it's
Napoli.
unlikely. You're comparing to other coaches, but that's not the comparison. The comparison is it possible to do better? And that's the answer is yes. And that's all we're saying.
But
We're
that's
not
such a
like
From a
stupid
technical
statement, man.
side.
That is such a stupid statement. You're
No,
saying
it's
that
not.
basically,
It's
is it
not.
it
possible
does
to
make a
be always
difference
a
because
good weather every day?
when you get to
I think we can still
the
beat
highest
Inter
points
with this
of
current squad, guys. That's my honest opinion. We can
That's
still
not the
take them
big.
on and beat them.
That's not
okay.
important, man. To me, we
It
can
is
beat
Let me
important,
Inter,
ask you
man.
Layers.
this.
But
You know
the bigger
all the
picture
silly
is
draws, the silly losses we made to smaller teams. It's like Tulare. Do you think that like Pioli could have done better in those games, especially after they kept happening? Like what specifically
because
could he have done better?
we don't have a 25 goal season striker. These games you win it
Okay,
with a striker.
other than like getting new players, is there something else he could have done?
No, no,
Because
no. For me, no.
you're
I'm
telling me
sorry,
no,
man. You guys live
that's
in a
ridiculous.
different
Well,
world.
That's
well,
a
but the thing is that the football field showed us that the players that we have right now, like many of us suspected, don't get the job
yeah,
done.
but that's true. But at the same time, like the bench obviously is horrible, but we still have good players. Like we still have Theo, we still have Leao, we still have Tonali, we
And
still
yeah,
have
and that
Chao,
and
and these players are good enough to
last
at least
season,
beat these smaller teams.
last
And the
season,
fact that it consistently kept
I
happening,
get it,
like
my
losing
man,
points,
my man.
yeah.
But last season, at this point of the season, Pioli didn't have a semi-final Champions League to think about. So he put on his
Again,
best
I
11
agree
every
with you.
game. And we beat these
I agree
teams.
with you.
The moment
I
you
agree with
have
you.
to do these rotations, of course, things go down. The level goes down.
Yeah, but it's more than that because it's not just that because last season we were competing for the title. Like this season we're not even asking for the title. We're just asking top four. So the expectation in the league dramatically went down, and that should have been compensated by going far in the Champions League. So at this point he should at least be like just a little bit like right now I don't think we're making top four honestly because
Is it
so
is it Pioli's fault that Brahim Diaz hits the post,
I'm not
Tonali
saying
hits
it's
the
his
post?
fault. I'm saying if he wants to be a top coach, which I think it is in his capacity to do so, then he has to learn from this. He has to be adaptive when things are tough. And that's not to say that all top coaches have that adaptive
How can you? I'm
capability,
sorry, dude, but
but
Guys,
he
this
can
let's
is
do that.
continue
madness
this,
to me.
but I'll
This
have
is
to go.
madness to me. How can you
Take care,
pick?
everyone.
How can you be?
Later,
How
Adora.
can
Thank you,
you
bro.
improve your
Thank you,
coaching?
guys.
How can you improve your coaching, making the right decision on Sunday to play Messias or Selemakers, to play Giroud or Rebic? It's basically fucking flipping a coin, man. It's not
No,
even
I don't
actually
think it is.
looking at these players and
They
thinking,
have a lot
you
of
know what,
data,
these guys.
and they
This
also
is
have
basically
man to
actually
man.
flipping a coin, and you're asking him to get it right on flipping a coin, which is
No, I'm not
statistically not
asking him to getting it
possible.
right 100% of
I
the
wanted
time
you to flip a
because
coin and get
he's
ahead
got it
every
wrong.
time. Can you
He's
do that? Improve on that.
No, that's
That
not what
is
I'm
what
saying.
we're talking about.
As long as even if he was just a little bit better in the league, we would have comfortably been in top four. Do you understand what I'm
But
saying? I'm
I'm
not saying yes.
explaining you that the
Even
players
even if
he's
he got
picking
3, 4
is
decisions
flipping a
right out
coin.
of like 100, out of like 10 or 15, we would have been comfortably in the top four. But we're not. So that says
You
something
don't want to
about
listen,
the
man.
management.
I'm explaining to you how is it.
No, but
You pick a
you're not
Lulu
listening.
one day, or you pick a Lulu one day, it looks fucking Cannavaro. You pick it another day, it looks Kalulu.
Well, that's
That
why
is
you have
fucking
training
flipping a
sessions.
coin,
That's
man.
why you
I'm
have
sorry,
data.
man. You can say Pioli and things like that. That is flipping a coin.
No, it's not flipping a coin. That's not
Yeah,
how
it
it
is
works.
flipping
You
a
can't.
because Kalulu is not
If you have
performing
if you
every
have all
fucking
this data and you're with
Sunday
them
at
the
the
whole
highest
week,
level.
you can't
Some
say that
Sundays
it's
he's
flipping a
making
coin.
massive mistakes.
No,
Dude,
that's
whatever, man.
that's
You
not
want to
true.
deny reality. Deny reality,
Okay,
Pioli.
do they have access to analytics? Do they have access to like them
It's
in
not.
training? Of course they do.
Well,
Do
let
they
me
It's
talk
ask
not
you
to
a
them?
about.
question,
They have
Marco.
sports
Oh,
Let
psychologists.
Jesus
me a question,
Christ.
Of course
Marco.
they
Let me
have
ask you a
data.
question.
Yeah.
Marco, let me ask you a question. This is an
Oh,
opinion.
man.
This is an opinion. If we didn't have the semifinal Champions League and the Champions League, let's say we got eliminated in February,
Okay.
would the results in Serie A still be the same, in your opinion?
No, they'd be better. Of course they'd be better. They have to be better. Like
Okay,
in
so
90% chance that they would have been much better because
Roy, but
we wouldn't have to rotate
Roy,
as
but
much.
what we're talking about this thing?
But
Honestly, man.
it's look, all we're saying is this. Like I don't want Pioli to leave, but at the same time, we still want him to adapt because it's frustrating to see the same mistakes over and over again. Not only
This,
against the big teams, but also against the smaller teams. Because he didn't score a single goal against Inter, or the team didn't score a single goal against Inter, and they were
because
outplayed every time. And
wait,
we
wait,
and I
barely
who
lose
did?
explain
against
you
Wait,
why.
Inter.
hold on,
But I
hold on.
explain you
Who
why.
didn't score a goal against Inter? Who didn't score a goal
The
against
entire
Inter?
team. No one scored against Inter
No,
the
you
whole
said
season.
Pioli didn't score a goal against Inter.
Yeah,
I
that's
caught
what
you
you said.
slipping, man.
Okay, now you're just nitpicking.
Uh,
You're getting my. You should.
no, I caught you slipping. Say who didn't score the goals. Say
Okay, great.
because Inzaghi didn't score against us. Lautaro Martinez scored against us.
I
Fucking
understand, but
Dzeko scored against us. Not
okay,
Inzaghi.
the coach still has an impact. Like it's not like the coach is
Sure,
mute. In
absolutely.
that case, then there would be no coaches. Of course, the coach has a tactical role to play.
Yeah,
So
of course, sure.
exactly, that's my point. My point is that he could have could change the tactics, and also I'm not even honestly the big games. I would be totally fine if we just completely the smaller teams, as long as we learn from the fact that like if we had just like 2 or 3 more wins right now, I would be completely happy and I wouldn't complain at all. I'm not even complaining honestly. I'm just saying, okay, what can Pioli do better? That's it. Like theoretically, what can he do better? And
He
if he
should
can
flip
implement
the
it, that would be
coin
great.
better. That's
Bro,
what you're
that's not
asking
how it
him to
works.
flip. Yeah,
No,
it is. I'm sorry, man. It is.
look, if you think that choosing the right formations and players is flipping a coin, that's you. But obviously, that's not how it works because they invest millions into they have more than just flipping a coin. Like, come on, you can't be this like this deaf
Dude,
or
No,
I'll
deaf
explain
against
it
that.
to you. I'll explain it to you. You're talking about data analysts. Check the data analyst of Kier on the 2 games against Napoli. And you
Okay,
think this guy, listen to me, I have to finish here.
but
This
it's
guy
not
should start
just
against
those
Inter.
games.
No, no, no. Let me
Yeah,
finish here. Let me start
there's
here.
more data
Let me
than
talk.
just one game. You have to look at the more recent
Well, but
things
it's
that he was
about
doing. He
form.
just
It's
came back
about
from
form
injury.
as well. It's about form. It's not about looking at
Exactly.
the data of the entire season. If you
Form
look at the
and
data,
predicting
I'm
how
sorry.
a person is going to play in the future is not just like, oh, they played this one good game. Like there's more to it. This how they play in training, how
Okay.
are they feeling, how are like did they come back
Yeah,
from injury, like
exactly.
how
Exactly.
all that stuff comes into play, and he seems to consistently get that wrong. Again,
Co-
it's not a huge deal because he didn't get the backing, so I don't really blame him. But like, if he really wants to improve, he seems like he wants to improve because he has improved a lot as a coach. Before Milan, he was pretty much a mid-table coach. So if
how can someone tell me that
he can
Pioli
learn
has
from
not
this, that's all I'm
improved?
saying.
That from a mid-table coach, he was in a semifinal Champions League in like
Right, that's good on him. That's really good that he was able to do that.
So,
But at the
so of
same
course he
time,
improved. How can you say he
yeah,
hasn't
of course
improved?
he improved, but there's still more room for improvement. That's all
How
I'm
can
saying.
he?
But
But
okay, oh
do you
sure,
understand
but
this is not improvement, man? Do you understand deciding to play Chow instead of here, having that intuition is not improvement because Chow is a guy that can make a mistake like he did against fucking who was it? Was Cosenza. He smashed Kalulu to get his match together, and the Cosenza guy
no, it
scored a
wasn't
goal.
Cosenza. It wasn't
What
Cosenza.
fucking was? Which game was it?
Cosenza is not even in the Serie A.
What was it, man?
I can't remember.
Cremonese.
I don't know. It was one of the small.
By the way, you remember the game when Kalulu and Chao hit each other, and the guy scores a goal. How do you fucking understand that? How do you improve yourself on understanding that Kalulu and Chao will perform like shit that day? So you need to play Kier and Tomori, which they played in Champions League 2-3 days before.
Well,
How
first
can
of
you
all,
improve that?
that's one specific play. That's like
Dude, I can give you a lot of. How can you improve Balotelli? How can you improve that? How can you improve?
My point is that you have the players to be able to.
You guys move the point, right, left. Every time I stop you, you move the point.
No, that's not true. If you hyper focus
I explain
on one
to you how it
thing,
works. You say that's not about one.
You're hyper focusing on one mistake that no one is disagreeing with you on. That doesn't mean you win the argument. The argument isn't about those those 5 seconds of play. The argument is about the game in general, because the game lasts 90 minutes against these lower table teams, and it's unfathomable that you drop that many points. That even 15 points, that they're still ahead of you in the top four race. Obviously they got the points back, but that says a lot about the tactics and the preparation. That if you consistently make these mistakes, you have to adapt. And again, I understand that he's a rigid coach. If he had the right players, this wouldn't even be a question. Like, he would have already gone top four.
He's not a rigid coach because he has changed formation during the season 5 times.
He's changed formations after we started leaking goals. He only changed formations after this.
But Inzaghi has lost 11 games in the league and has not changed the formation the entire season.
So if he gets the right investment, do you think he's going to change from a 4-2-3-1?
He will fucking win the league again if he gets the right investment.
Okay,
yes.
If he gets the right team, he'll win the league again.
But will he change formation, though? That's my question.
He doesn't need to change formation.
But will he? That's the point. The point is, I'm saying he's a rigid coach. Rigid doesn't mean bad.
Doesn't matter. Formation, blah, blah, blah. That's just nonsense. Is he going to get the right team?
He's being a rigid coach.
If he gets the right team, he will win. He will win. Yes, I'm convinced
I'm happy
about.
If he wins, I'm happy. I agree with you. He will win most likely. But the fact is that he is a rigid coach. He's not like a Tuchel or a Nagelsmann that changes per opponent. He doesn't think like that.
You do not need to change the formation because
he needs to. I'm not saying he needs to. I'm saying that's just how he is.
There's no formation that is going to compensate not having another striker available.
Yeah, I know. But my point is, you can. Of course, it's not going to fully compensate, but there are things you can do to improve.
Is there, and let me ask you a question, is there like a Vice, do you know what Vice means? Like
right.
I don't know if you could hear me, but you're not going to set up the same. What was that?
Who's the second to Benacer? Like, do we have a Vice Benacer in this team?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Of course.
Well, dude, I'm sorry, man. You need to give me concrete examples here because you want to talk tactics. You need to explain me tactics now. So if Benacer get injured, you don't have a player like Benacer. How can you imply the tactics that you like or possession tactics if you don't have a player with the quality of Benacer that can intervene? Or if, let's say, Tonali is tired, do you have another guy that covers the pitch as much as Tonali? So Tonali can rest.
Don't need to be
Hernandez plays 15 games in a row. Do you have a player that he can rest so he can push on that left wing on an important game? Man, go specific. It's so easy to put good words and great sentences like this. Just go specific now because I'm not understanding your point now.
Okay. You don't need to have like-for-like replacements for the team to be able to beat 18th, 19th, 20th place sides. You don't need like-for-like replacements. All you need is
no like for like. Listen to me, not like for like.
Exactly. So we have players that have some.
So you're telling me that if you play Balotelli, you still have the same chances of winning.
That's not what I said. I said, of course they're different. Of course they're less quality, but they still should be enough in totality to beat lower table sides. Like that's all I'm saying.
So you're saying that the media the media is explaining to you that lower team are garbage, so you can beat them with Balotelli. Balotelli will not start in fucking any Serie A game, in any team.
Okay.
Even Sampdoria is relegated, he cannot start. That's the reality that you don't understand. And you think we can beat...
We're just going back and forth. So.
That's the reality. Spezia will not play with Balotelli. Balotelli will not start with Spezia.
Well, he should have got top four comfortably, and he didn't have to beat the big sides. All he had to do was beat maybe one or two games that he could have just won instead of tied or lost, and we would be comfortably in the top four without having to worry right now. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I
Now, when it
know
comes
that.
to next season,
I know
exactly, that's
that.
my point. So you agree with me,
Well,
then?
but
Like, we're
my
debating.
point
We're
is
not.
that it's not Pioli's fault, those draws and losses. That's all
Yeah,
my point.
it's not mainly his fault. Mainly it's the management's fault. I already said that, like maybe over 50, 60, 70%. But when you're backed into a corner, if he wants to be like the top coach, you have to be flexible to a certain degree. So if he really wants that, I'm not blaming him, but if he wants to improve, do that and he'll improve. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like,
When you say do that, what is that?
okay, when the after the COVID lockdown, and then from that period on forwards, so from like March to the end of that season, and then the next season where we won the Scudetto, we were always beginning the game by attacking. So we would like try to like quickly get a goal or two, and we would be very quick in terms of our passing and our movements. But now you
Yeah.
see that the players they if even if they make
How
runs,
many
which is
games
very
a
rare,
week we were playing? How many games a week we were playing in that period? You explained it just now.
but the point is this. Again,
No,
I know it was less games.
but that's the
Of
point,
course,
dude.
no, listen. The point is that you can still do that with worse players. You don't need to have the best players to be able to pull that off.
How do you
Like, that
know
is
that?
dramatic.
Who is telling you these information, Steve? How
Are
you
you
are
you
so
serious?
how
Like,
you are
in order
so
to
sure
be
about
listen,
these things you say?
listen. In order to be a professional footballer, in order to be a professional athlete, there's a
How do
baseline
you know
level of
that?
capacity. There's a baseline
How
level
do
of
you know
ability that
that?
you have to meet. Are you saying professional footballers are like the same as like random people on the street? Of course not. They have some capacity, and you have to be able to
You
work that
know,
into
how
your
do you
squad.
know how do you
I'm
know
not even
you can
asking him for win to win like 4 or 5 games or even 6, 7 games. I'm asking for 1 or 2 more games, and that would mean that
how
we're comfortably in
okay.
top four.
I'm asking you, how do you know that Ranks is a better midfielder than Spezia midfielder? How do you know that?
So you're saying that
Who
you're
is
trying to say
telling
that
you? Who
bench
Who
players
told you that a 19 years old that has never
are
played in
you
Serie
saying
A
these bench
before
players are
is a
worse than like
better? Yeah. That's I'm asking you. Who told you that? Who
no?
gave you that
If I
information?
picked a random person off the street, would they be better than these bench players? Of course not. These bench players have capacity. It
No.
doesn't
Who
matter that
told you
they're
that
worse than the
Branks
first
is
team
a better
players.
midfielder than the Spezia midfield?
No, you're just being disingenuous because that's not the
I'm not
point.
being
The point is
disingenuous
that
here. I'm asking
yeah,
you.
you are
Who gave you that
because
information?
oh my, this is ridiculous. Like, you're telling me that our entire squad, it's not just about one player, by the way, it's about a team effort. And most of the time, he didn't do a full rotation. So let's say we had like 7 or 8 games, and he only needs to win like 1 or 2 of those for this not to be an issue. Like, we wouldn't even be worrying about next season if it was just 1 or 2 games. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Is it the number 10 of Sassuolo performing better than CDK right now in Serie A?
Of course he is. Of course he is. Yeah.
So who
But
says
it's
that
not
we
just
should beat
about one
Sassuolo?
player.
So why we should be entitled to beat Sassuolo with CDK in the pitch
No,
when
it's
he's
not
not
just about
better than
one
the number
player.
10 of
Even
Sassuolo?
even when we had our best players, like even when we had our best players on, the creativity is lacking, like severely lacking. Like, we would not do the same patterns of play, the 1-2s, the passing in behind,
Because
passing
you
between the
don't
midfield and
consider
the
facts.
defense.
But I'm sorry, you don't consider fact that these players already won. So the hunger is different. The motivation is different. The
Yeah,
number
but
of
you have
games they play is different. The intensity is different. The opposition learns how to play against you.
but
You don't
can
consider
Pioli do
things like
anything? Can Pioli do because even if he did something, even if I could see that the players were trying that and
it's
failing,
just
then
give me a
but the
solution.
thing is
Say if Pioli does that, he will get that point against that team. Can you be more specific? Just get one game and say if Pioli does this and this and this, he can be
okay,
better. Can you just give
In the
me an
game
example?
against in the game against Cremonese, right? We were
Yeah,
basically dominating the game, the whole game until the mistake. And
yeah.
the chances we made, there was only one clear cut chance, and that's
Okay.
not good enough. There was only one clear cut chance. That chance
Who
was
was
when
playing in that team?
Salama.
Let me get
Sa-
information. Who was playing
okay.
against Cremonese? Milan Cremonese 1-1. Lineup. Here we go. I have the lineup. I can share it if you want. Let me share the lineup. 1 second. Here we go.
Okay. So in this game, do you remember the one chance where Salamakers he basically like chipped it and then Diaz missed an open header? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only like clear-cut chance we made against a relegation side. We
Okay.
need to make more chances than that.
Okay. What Pioli should do here?
Well, I said it already. Remember the football that we played basically post-COVID? We were doing
Not play
quick
that football.
passes, one-touch
Balotore cannot
football.
play that football. Fernandez can play that football. Balotore cannot.
All it requires is to kick a ball and run. That's all it requires, and it requires
Yes,
coordination.
that's what
This
you
is a
say.
team thing.
Balotore cannot
No,
do
listen,
that.
listen.
We've seen that.
It is not. It is. I'm not asking him to score like a Rabona or something like that. I'm asking a very simple thing
Do
from
what
you.
you're
It's
asking.
about
You cannot do
coordination.
that. He has not the vision
No,
to see the
that's
players.
just that. Now you're just lying. That makes no sense.
No,
These
it makes sense,
these
man. I've
players
seen
understand
Balotore.
how to pass a ball.
Makes sense. No. Makes sense. Makes sense. I'm sorry, man.
It's not about individual quality. It's about coordination. It's a team
It is
sport.
about individual quality. It is.
All you have to do is pass the ball and run. It's just about awareness. It's not about like
it's not
it's
just
not about
that. Football is not just that.
no.
Okay.
When it comes to
Okay.
coordination, yes.
Okay.
Because
If
if
it's all
we're not
about,
asking these players to do
I'm
crazy
sorry.
things.
It's all about passing and running. The Cremonese players can do that as well.
No, that's not what they were doing. They were sitting back. They were not doing what we were doing. And they also
So
don't have as good players.
you need quality. Do you understand that Real Madrid loses games like this as well?
Of course, that's not. But the point is that they don't do it consistently. We consistently lost so many of
See
these
this
stupid
season how
games.
many games they've lost like this, Real Madrid. You want to see it?
No, they haven't lost that many. They haven't lost that many. The only one that I
Well, but
remember
because
is
they don't have
the game
Origi
against
up front, they have a different
Girona.
squad. So if you have a better squad, you
Yeah,
will lose less.
of course, I agree with that. But I'm saying, what can we do? What can Pioli do with what he has? I'm not blaming him. Of course, most of the blame goes
And
on the
I'm telling
management.
you that he
Most
cannot
of the
do a
blame
lot.
goes on the players.
If you
Of
don't
course,
want
he
to
can't
accept
do a
the
lot. But if he
reality,
wants to improve,
no,
then he has to learn how to improve in these games.
Dude, you
He
cannot
only has to win
make.
one or two of these games,
It's
and
not
then we won't have
possible
an
with
issue
the
with top
players
four.
he has. Can
No,
you
it
just
is
accept
possible.
that?
Like it 100% is possible. We only needed to win one or two of the. Are you saying that we couldn't beat Cremonese? We couldn't beat what are the other sides? Udinese, Sassuolo. Sassuolo, when we played them, they
Do
were
you saw the
17.
game? Do you saw the games?
Which game?
These games we didn't beat them. Did you saw them?
Yeah, I watched them fully. Yeah.
Well, we didn't beat them, so that means that there is a chance we cannot beat them.
No, that's not an argument. Okay, how about this? We're not going to agree on this because it's a very minute point. We agree on basically everything. Management is mostly at fault, and we want to keep Pioli, right? But when it comes to next season, he's probably going to keep the same formation. What is the biggest parts of the squad that need to be fixed? Because I think personally, I think the biggest fact was that we don't have a solid midfield. So some losing, I think losing Kessie was the biggest problem. What about you?
I think the strike number 9. I don't give a shit anymore. I want a number 9 next season.
Okay,
Midfield
yeah,
will
I agree
come.
with that as well.
Midfield will come because I think there is a lot of
Yeah, who
zero.
could we get though?
I don't
The only
care,
thing
man.
I can, if you're looking for a young player, the Retegui guy, I don't know how you say his name, Retegui, something like that. I think he would be good. Um, but
To Inter.
I don't know the availability.
He's gonna go to Inter.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how much we're gonna spend. So
Inter will sell Onana to Premier League for like 50 million or something like that. And I think they will sell another player, Dumfries maybe, and buy Retigui and somebody else and a goalkeeper. Doesn't matter, man. It's just I don't know, man. It's just
so how much money do we get from the Champions League?
we got a lot of money, 120 million, something like that. And we're not gonna spend all of them anyway.
So how much is gonna be for the market?
Depends if we're playing Champions League or not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If
But
we're not
isn't
playing
that like
Champions League, if you're not playing Champions League, you're just gonna put few players in this squad and move on next season. That's the reality.
But the thing is this that even if we don't make Champions League, it's not that bad, right? Because our debt situation, it's like what is it right now? Because I remember the COVID season was like 200 million in debt, and then it went down half to like 96. What is that now?
Because you cannot attract good players. Forget about the money. Money, we're good. We're covered. You cannot attract good players. Anyway, we're not attracting them anyway. And another thing is, Champions League football is needed for this group of players to grow because they are big games. You play every time big games, so you grow. Your status grow. I don't know if there is your credit point in Champions League grows. That is important to be part of the Champions League. Your sponsorship grows. Your ticket stadium grows. You need to play Champions League football. So the reality is that next season we're not going to play Champions League, probably. So we don't need to spend crazy, because if you're playing just Serie A and Europa League, who fucking cares? You're gonna give some importance to the Europa League. The moment Serie A will be important, and you have a chance to win it, or top 4 will be more important than Europa League. You will play the starting 11, the best 11 in Serie A, and some bench players in the Europa League. That's what you're gonna do next season. Finish top 4, get the Champions League money, and play Champions League season after. That's what's gonna happen.
Okay, so we have how many games? 3, 4 games left. Sampdoria, Juventus, Verona. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what about the other teams? Because is Juve still going to keep their 15 points?
I don't know. There is a lot of talks about Juventus. There is a talk that UEFA will kick them out, so we'll finish 5th.
Do you know when the decision will be released?
At the end of the season.
Oh, okay.
So we will know during the summer.
Is it possible? Like, of course it's possible, but is it likely that any of the teams will slip up and will be like maybe Lazio slips up? I don't think so. But that is very unlikely because they already slipped up against Lecce, right? Or no? Yeah, Lecce. So
I don't see any of the teams in front of us winning all the games. They will slip some points, but it doesn't matter. We have 4 points. 4 points is a lot. Let's say Lazio slips another 2 points. Or let's say Lazio slips 3 points and wins the other 2. Doesn't matter. They're not going to lose 2 games.
They have a 4-point lead.
Yeah. They have 4-point lead. Even if they draw 2 games, they still are ahead of us.
They still have the head-to-head, right?
Yeah, because I think Lazio scored more goals.
Yeah, so. They scored 4. They scored 2. That's sad. That's really sad.
Oh, so with Udinese Lazio, I can see Lazio. Maybe Lazio can lose some points here. I don't think Lazio will lose points against Cremonese. Maybe they can lose points against Empoli. They can shit the bed last game of the season if we put a bit of pressure. But we need to win against Juventus, against Sampdoria, and against Verona. Which is
how many points does Juventus have?
Juventus has a lot of points, so it doesn't matter. I think Juventus is hard to get. Juventus is basically 8 points.
Oh wow! Yeah, there's no way because that's not gonna work. What about Inter? Could Inter slip up? I don't think so. No, it's not gonna happen.
No, because Inter, even if the Inter are gonna play now, let's say Inter lose against Napoli. I mean, it's tough for Inter because if Napoli takes it seriously, it's hard for them. Fiorentina is a difficult game away, and Inter Atalanta is a difficult game. They are all 3 games, in my opinion, on different reasons. But I don't think Inter will slip up because Inter has strikers that score goals. The game is Inter conceded 2 goals against Sassuolo. The strikers scored goals. So.
Yeah.
If you concede goals, if you decide to go through the next season with Giroud, you need to have the best defense of the season because Giroud is going to give you 12 goals.
Yeah.
You're not going to buy him another CDK.
Yeah.
You need the best defense of the season.
The thing with Inter is that they always create opportunities, but they don't always finish it. So, like they had never had an attacking problem.
But they have strikers that have scored a lot of goals. If I count the amount of goals they've scored in
And
the
they
last
also have a
5
very
seasons.
attacking. They also have a very attacking formation. The wing backs are very aggressive.
Midfielders of Inter, Barella goes on an average of 10 to
Yeah,
15 assists a season.
yeah, yeah. They're really good. Um, but they can also be really bad. They're like Milan in that sense. Like sometimes they
Well,
don't
because they
they're
have a
really
bad
bad.
coach. That's the reality. Inzaghi is a
Yeah,
bad coach that has a good squad.
yeah. I mean, he's growing. He's getting better. He's also good at tournaments. So, but I think the only thing we can do is just wait. Like we have to basically wait the season out. And yeah.
I didn't realize that Inter has such a difficult schedule, though. I'll be honest.
But it's not really that difficult. Napoli's not going to play that hard. They already won. And
No, Napoli's gonna play
Atalanta,
hard against Inter. He's at
I
home.
think so.
Yeah, they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
play hard, but they're gonna play hard in a sense that, like,
What
for
if
fun. They will
what
have
if
fun. Yeah,
yeah, what if Inter wins the Champions League and then like they don't finish top four and then we
yeah. They
sneak
go,
in
they
top
go,
four?
they go in Champions League. The
That would be
problem is
good.
that if Inter wins the Champions League and is not top four, and Roma wins the Europa League and is not top four, the fourth one doesn't go in Champions League.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because it'd be 6 teams. Yeah. Wow. Mm, Juventus, Roma. It's Leverkusen and then Sevilla. I think Sevilla might actually win it. The
Whoever
Europa
wins it,
League.
it's unlikely
Sevilla is
that
really good.
two Italian teams will win Champions League and Europa League.
Yeah.
Extremely unlikely. It can happen. I really think Inter will win the Champions League. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I
But
think so too.
it's not that they're not the favorite anyway. I'm like I know that. So,
Yeah.
but looking at the Inter schedule, Inter can easily lose 4 points.
Yeah.
Still will not help us because Inter is 66, we're 61.
So you think we'll stick with Pioli as the coach?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he has a good
Look at the
relationship with
interviews Maldini is doing. Maldini is saying this squad is not ready to be at this level.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
we were buying players because the management is telling us to buy young players instead of experienced players like Dybala.
Hmm.
He's all interviews he's telling that our ownership is idiots. They don't know what football means.
Yeah, he's putting pressure on them. I think that's good because I don't think Jerry listens. I think he has like a fixed mindset about like the Moneyball approach or like what's it called? Like the right that's what it's called, right? Like spending very little money but using a lot of data analytics. The Moneyball, I think that's what it's called. But I think that's what they wanted to continue. But all the transfers they failed this time.
Yeah, I'm
So
not winning anything if they follow the money ball religiously.
it works.
I'm
It would
not
work
winning.
in theory. It only works in theory, but you have to be very like strict, like you have to like be perfectly correct, or at least like because they got none of the transfers right this time. Like I don't think any of them worked out. Um, but when it
But
comes
if
to because if
your
we're gonna
budget
stick,
is 50 million,
yeah, yeah,
you're not
it's
gonna win.
hard to yeah, especially if you spend like all of that on like one player. And the thing is, if we stick with the 4-2-3-1, then the biggest hole I think would be fixing the defense, so the like a Kessie like replacement, and then a striker, and then obviously right wing. So in terms of urgency, like which one is most important to least important, I think that um like a defensive or box to box midfielder like Kessie who does all the dirty work, and he has like a lot of
I think it's
like
more
he has.
important Teo Hernandez backup.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, I didn't
The
think about
guy is
that. The
gassed.
fact that
Teo Hernandez is gassed. He's not pushing
same
anymore.
with Tonali. I think the same with
He had
Tonali.
a fucking Teo Hernandez had an average game. People keep blaming Calabria. Teo Hernandez gave all the balls to the Inter players
Yeah,
these
yeah,
two
he did
games.
really bad.
He was
He didn't even.
completely fucked. So
Hmm.
tired.
wasn't even
Mike
running
Maignan
much.
was giving him the ball to go on the counter. The guy was running 20 meters and stopping, looking for
Yeah,
a
he
pass.
ran and then he stopped, and then he
And
would
he was
pass it
not
back.
looking at the. He wanted to pass to someone, but he was so tired and he didn't have a clear vision who to pass it.
Yeah.
Tonali the same. Guys, completely fucked. That's all season playing every fucking game because we don't have players they can step in and make them rest. I want the luxury to say, you know what, Theo, you're not playing because I don't want you to play. I want the other guy to play. No, Theo does not play because he has a yellow, he's injured, and because he's completely finished. No, we need a Theo replacement, backup. We need a midfielder that run a lot, energetic, that they run a lot and they get good feet in the midfield.
I think the midfield is probably the biggest, but honestly, I think the right wing is actually more important than the striker because Drew doesn't get much service other than like trying to like the long balls, but he doesn't get much service other than that. Which
Giroud
I
is
mean, the long
finished,
balls.
guys. Giroud is
I
finished.
know, but at the same time, the right wing is worse than like the right wing. The thing with the if you have two like our left wing is already good, right? If you have the right wing and it's also a threat, then they can't do the like if they try to like counteract Leao by like tag teaming him or man marking, then that creates a problem because now you have other options. But we couldn't exploit that because we have nothing on the right side. So,
Yeah, but
but
what
I
type
think
of
that's
right wing were you gonna buy with our budget?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that I think that's more important than the striker because if you have a striker and if they isolate Leao, the striker's not going to be able to do much, or Drew's not going to be able to do much if the right wing isn't doing anything.
No, because the right wing we're gonna buy is still gonna cross the ball, and Giroud will not gonna get that ball because he's too
Yeah,
weak as a
exactly.
striker. So it's useless to buy a right wing that is gonna put a good cross, and Giroud will not get that cross. It's basically buying bread without having teeth.
But Drew isn't getting that cross right now. Do you see all the
No, Giroud
crosses
is
that
getting
Messias
that
made?
cross. No, Giroud is getting that cross. Messias, all the
Messias
crosses
made a
he did
lot of
today,
crosses.
a powerful striker will go on the second post and get that.
I don't
That's
know. I
that
think that
guys.
I think that
No,
Messias'
you're
cross weren't that
mistaken.
good.
Every time the cross was going close to Giroud, or every time Giroud gets the ball in his feet, he loses. What is
To
that
me,
about,
the crosses that Messias made, they were always
dude?
overhit. So
Yeah, but
that's been a consistent
can
problem.
you watch another? Go and watch another game, and you will see that every other right wing and left wing, the crosses are over it, or they're a bit too long, too short. The fifth, the sixth, the seventh one, they get it right. And guess what? They don't get it right. It's the striker that makes the right movement and finds himself in that position.
Yeah, I
Go and
mean,
check.
I
Go
don't know
and check.
about that because I'm just going off like the
I
right
I
wing of
watch the
Messias
best
and
right wingers in the
Salomon.
world, the left wings in the world, and right wings. I watch them. I see them when they cross the ball. Do you think? Listen to me. Do you think Reece James is not good at crossing the ball?
But it's not just crossing. The right wing does more than that. The right wing also
Reece James is
has
not a
like
good
the
player
one
or
two.
creating chances. Why Chelsea is not scoring goals? Because he's not a striker. Then.
Yeah, that's true. But at the
Do you,
same time, the right wing is also very bad
do you think
because
Carvajal is a great crosser? No, Benzema is amazing. Real Madrid brings players in the box that actually are great with headers.
yeah, but the crosses that we make aren't like they're like crosses
Because we
with
have
the
one
friendly.
player. We need to bring players in the box. We need to bring powerful players in the box that know how to handle
Like the
those
same way,
crosses.
the same way that Theo Hernandez and Leao, the way that they double team the left flank. If we had the same thing happening on the right,
But that's
then it
not
would create.
possible, man.
But
Leao, there is
it
not
doesn't
another
have to.
Leao out there to buy.
I know, but I'm saying something similar. It doesn't need to be exact. But even if you had like one or two good crosses, or not even crosses, like the movement on the right side, like the one twos or creating space, because the crosses that we make, like they're like crosses from like very far out. But if you go inside the box and you just pull it back, that's like an easy chance to score. That's what I'm talking about. Like when's the last time Macias or
Like
Salamakers
it's a
they
video
crossed
game.
the ball
Football is a
back?
video game. You're talking like there is we're gonna buy a 20 million euro right wing, and he's gonna do what you say in Serie A
Yeah,
the
well,
first year. But
game
then people told
game
me
and these
CK will do that. He didn't manage to do that.
yeah, because CDK doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, so
He's
buy me a
clueless.
striker and don't even risk to buy me a guy that is gonna flop again. for 20 million. Just buy me a fucking good striker and keep Messias and
Yeah, I mean,
Selemakers. I know the output of Messias and Selemakers. I know how much they can understand the league. I don't want a flop in the bench out of 20 million and Giroud starting every single game as a striker. No.
the way I see it is this.
I
The
prefer
way
to
I see
start
it
with
is this.
Messias and Selemakers and have
Even
a young striker up front, a big
yeah,
lad. They
I
can
agree
stop
with
the
you.
ball, help the team to go up.
No, I understand. Like you need a good striker, of course. But what I'm saying is that even the best strikers, if you don't give them service, they're not gonna
You,
excel.
how old are you? How old are
So
you?
20.
So you don't know that. You haven't seen the best striker in the world play for this Milan. I've seen the best striker in the world, Shevchenko, at that time. And some average player will crossing the ball and he will go in that cross. He will find himself in that cross. It's not just
Okay, I mean,
so a big
I'm not. But
striker.
I'm
You
saying,
look Benzema won the Champions League by himself last season. A big striker can make a cross look amazing because he will read the cross and be in that position.
no, I understand. I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, if I had to prioritize one, if I had to
I
prioritize,
remember.
because
You remember
if I had to
that
prioritize,
outside foot Modric cross that
yeah,
opens?
to
I think,
Rodrigo.
yeah, for Rodrigo.
Yeah,
That was an
yeah, I remember.
amazing pass. But the run Rodrigo does is incredible. He goes in the place. He goes on the second post. Now, today, Messias put 2 crosses in the second post. Leao was never in that fucking second post.
Yeah,
Rodrigo
yeah, that's
was
true.
in that second post against Manchester City, was in the second post when Modric does that cross. He's fucking every time in that second post.
Yeah, I mean the crosses
Leao
weren't
is
that
not
bad.
in
It's just
every time. Leao today, Messias. I saw him. He got desperate when he put a cross in that second post, and Leao does not go there. He just went like nuts. He said, like, fucking hell, go one time in that second post because you will drag the defender, and Giroud will be alone, 1v1 with another defender. But if you stay close to Giroud and don't go to the second post, Giroud will have always 2 defenders, and they always will win the battle area. So it's not about the
no, I
cross.
agree.
It's about one man going to the second post, one man going to the first one, and one in the middle. And you
I
will
agree
open up
that
the
yeah,
defense in the box.
no, I
And
agree. I
that
agree 100%. But the thing is that they don't have much coordination. Like all of the players, like Leao, Giroud, Macias, their coordination's off. Like they don't know like Macias doesn't know where they're gonna go. The strikers, they don't know where Macias is gonna cross it. So the coordination's off. So basically, what I'm saying is that, of course, you're right. We need a striker. I'm just
but
thinking, I just don't know which one is more important. Like in terms of
the
which one would
striker
give
is
you.
more important, man. It's the striker is everything. Just the striker is everything, man. He's everything. He's in the football team. He's a striker. You're gonna cross that ball. The majority of the teams they don't have people that cross the ball with a remote control, man. They are. I swear to God, just watch one Man City game. You will see Grealish will cross the ball. One time will be too long, too short. One time will be a 1-2 that it does not go anywhere. And sometimes we keep crossing. Haaland will get one because he's powerful.
That's
And
true, but there's one caveat to that. That we're to get a player of that like capacity, like Benzema or Holland, it's rare, and also it depends on the quality of the striker. Because some strikers are just poachers. Some strikers are just they linger around the box, and that's not like that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to score the same goals that
no, but I need one that
Benzema
is
scores.
powerful. I need one that goes,
Oh, okay,
does
well,
that run,
that's different.
fakes the first post and goes to the second. Giroud cannot do that. Can you guys see it when Giroud moves? He cannot
Oh,
fake a
I
move and
know.
go to the first and go back to
Yeah,
the
he just stays in place.
penalty area. He stays there. He's there. You
It's
fucking give
static,
it to
yeah,
him with the remote control is impossible. We will never get the ball.
yeah,
Leao needs to give him a sitter for Giroud to score.
yeah.
The ball
That's
needs to
true.
be perfect.
But
Now, there is
sometimes
not
some
out
of
there
yeah,
a right wing that will give a perfect ball. So better buy a powerful young striker that will fight
yeah, yeah.
and get all the 6-7 crosses. He will get one because he
That's true.
has
Yeah.
the energy.
No, I agree with that. Yeah. But the thing is, like, what striker is there like right now that you can get? I don't know about that. I don't know which
There
one
is
we could
there
get.
is a lot.
Do you think we'll get
There,
one from League One,
we need one.
the,
We need a
the
good
French
striker.
league?
Scamacca. I don't know, just get one. Get
Yeah.
I think that guy Ivan Tony. I think he's having issue in England. Maybe he can leave.
What about
I don't know.
Jonathan David?
He's not a big striker. He's a second striker. You need Zaniolo. Maybe Zaniolo comes in. Whatever, man. I hope Juventus get kicked out from the Champions League by the UEFA.
I hope so too.
Now we go in. Simple as that. Brahim. I don't know. Brahim staying. I don't know. I don't know what is our budget. I really honestly don't know. I don't know what is our
How long
budget.
are you gonna? How long are you gonna stay on for?
I'm gonna close in a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have to go now. It was good talking to you. Yeah, I think I'll join in the future as well. But it was good talking to you. I think like we just hung up on a small disagreement, but hopefully we make it to top four and we have good investments for next season. But yeah. Yeah, thank you for having me on.
No, but join us more often. Roy, are you still there? So I'm gonna close the live. Anyway, I'm gonna close the live.
Yes, I'm still here.
Dude, we need a striker. I'm done with Giroud, Ibra, and these guys. Honestly, done.
Well, the season is almost over. Let's see what they do during the summer. And
Let's do it. I would love to do an exchange, Scamacca CDK. That would be a proper Italian job. That would be an Italian job from us.
Let's see what happens, man. For now, this is it. Let's see what happens.
Painful to watch Milan with 40 years old strikers, man. It's just painful.
Anyway, Larry, I think for today we set it off. We close. There's nothing else to add to the conversation.
Yo, by the way, just to close it up, I didn't realize that Inter had this. Sorry.
That Inter had what?
I'm gonna. One second. Difficult calendar. Napoli, Fiorentina, Atalanta.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
They could drop points, and maybe we could win a few. We need Lazio to drop points.
Well, Lazio can drop another game, I guess, but I don't think they will drop more than. I don't think they will drop more than 4 points, and they.
Who do they have? Can you check? Who do they have?
Yeah, I can check for you. They have it easier. They have Udinese, Cremonese, and Empoli. The only thing, and it's gonna be. I mean, it's to be fair, Lazio can shit the bed against Empoli. To be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if Cremonese is still fighting for relegation. That could be a tough one for them.
No, I don't think Cremonese will be fighting for relegation at that point.
Cremonese
is basically out.
How many points? 24?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
6 points from Spezia. Hopefully, at that point, even Verona will be out, so they don't have nothing to fight against us. But these motherfuckers, they fight anyway. So.
Yeah, they fight anyway, dude. They fight even harder just to fuck with us.
Just to fuck a bit around. Or you don't know anyway the relationship in the transfer windows, how they are. So they will fuck hard with someone, chill with another.
Yeah, because when they play against Milan, for a lot of these players, it's like a big. They know that a lot of people are watching, so for them it's like a good opportunity to showcase themselves.
Everyone is their uncle, their cousin, all the family is watching.
Yeah,
go to best and see or things like that. But it is possible. I think Lazio can shit the bed against Empoli. Because if let's say on the last game of the season we are 1 point behind Lazio, just to make it, or 2 points behind Lazio. Lazio can easily shit the bed, and we can, like, I remember 2 years ago Napoli shit the bed against Juventus.
Or Inter, man. I mean, Inter's only 1 point more than Lazio.
If Inter loses against Napoli, because Napoli, I think they will play at San Paolo. They will play a lot of good players. Not all of them, of course. The players that played less will play a bit more, but they will put a good team out there.
Yeah.
Say,
And Atalanta is going to be fighting for a European spot.
yeah,
What was everything?
Atalanta will be,
What was everything? Fiorentina?
and Fiorentina as well. So it's gonna be, and Fiorentina, they will play it away. So Napoli and Fiorentina is away.
The final is in. When is the final?
10th. So after the. Oh, is Inter having a Torino game as well? What is the Torino game about? To be determined. What is it? It's like a.
Did Torino make the Super Cup, the final of the Super Coppa of the Coppa Italia?
No, I don't think so. It's the Fiorentina the Coppa Italia. Okay, so it's completely
Okay.
it's Fiorentina the Coppa Italia. So it's Atalanta, Torino, and Napoli. Okay, that makes sense. But that's a lot of games though for Inter. I will make them a
Yeah.
bit tired. And it's quite
That's
challenging if you think, because they will have Napoli on Sunday, and Wednesday they will have Fiorentina. I guess they will want to win the Coppa Italia.
Yeah, for sure. They might drop points
Yeah,
against.
and they won the derby today, so they will be tired. So they will kind of play a second team or do a bit of
They
rotation on Sunday
they
against Napoli.
found great form right in this period, which is very unfortunate for us. But whatever. What are you gonna do?
That's football, no? You get formed in the right moment, and you push. So, but to be fair, they have time to rest and play a decent team against Napoli, because today is Tuesday and the game is on Sunday.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
but I assume they will not play the best starting 11 against Napoli.
Yeah, I don't know.
They will play a decent starting 11, but not the best one.
I don't know. Napoli lost against Monza. I don't know how much Napoli is really fighting.
Yeah, that's what the thought of Inzaghi will be. Napoli will not fight for every ball. And Inzaghi will be like, even a draw against Napoli, it's fine for me. I still have 5 points from the 5th place.
I think they'll be motivated. Napoli will be motivated to play Inter.
Yeah, they want to play a good game anyway. They would not like kill themselves or injure themselves to win the game, of course. But they will try. But Inter having like 5 points from Milan, they will be happy with a draw against Napoli anyway.
They lost the first one, so maybe they will want to get revenge.
Yeah, and I think Spalletti and the team wants to have as you say, like they don't want to look like they lost all the big games or things like that. They would like to beat Inter. And players like Osimhen and Egvicha, they probably want to add some stats to their game.
Yeah, they're just playing for stats at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be tough. Something has to happen, though. Of course, we have to win all 3 games.
Well, if how's it called? Sampdoria, we need to beat Sampdoria. Let's be honest. Sampdoria needs to be beaten. There is a reason why they are so shit.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're not. We just have, I mean, there's no rotations. Don't need to do any rotations anymore.
Yeah, we will be playing on Sunday. Oh, so why are we playing on Saturday? I don't understand that. Inter is playing on Sunday, we're playing on Saturday. What's the point of us playing on Saturday? I don't fucking get it, man. It's such a stupid calendar. I don't get it. Inter is playing on Sunday in Napoli, so that you have Milan for you. Fucking play on Sunday. Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. I don't get it, man. So stupid.
How's your brother? Is he happy?
You know,
Huh?
he's been respectful.
He's being respectful. Wow. He's not. He's not. How do you say it? He's not poking the bear kind of thing.
No, because they know that. How can I say it? They need to keep it quiet until they play against City or Real Madrid the final.
Oh, that's nice that your brother's not pissing you off.
Because what they're afraid, being how you call it, scaramantic or whatever, to
Yeah,
not
yeah.
jinx it,
Hmm.
because they're scared if they brag about it now and they get 5 goals against City in the final, they will be like, oh shit, they look like idiots.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. All right, are you ready?
No, I told you already. Inter will win if they go
Oh, you
against
think?
City. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always say
Against City, I think so too. Yeah, against
the,
City,
I,
they
I
will.
I always say the winner of this Champions League is on this side, Milan or Inter, because winning this derby gives you such a boost, such a confidence, such a relief. The player will be
And,
so relieved.
and I think Styles also is also a factor. I think Inter against City, it suits Inter. Real Madrid, Inter, I don't know, man. Real Madrid, Inter, I don't know, but
Will
City,
be
Inter
more, yeah.
suits Inter better.
I think Real Madrid Inter will be more an even game, weirdly
Yeah,
enough.
yeah.
So it will be weird for Real Madrid, I would say, because Real Madrid will be the favorite, and I don't think Real Madrid likes to be the favorite. Um, with City, they will shit the bed. I know that. Inter has nothing to lose. Nothing.
Yeah, Inter will close up shop and hit it, have 20% ball possession, hit him in the counter, and win like that probably.
No, unless the City players they just go ballistic,
Right,
like
right. Which can happen.
complete,
Which can happen.
completely like we're not gonna fucking lose this one. Let's go inside and just break them.
Yeah,
Try
yeah.
to
That's
that
what
conviction.
that's what I think people should expect, right? De Bruyne, Haaland, Guardiola in his football just open up Inter apart, but difficult. Not so easy. Not so easy. You know, all these teams that play football, Napoli wasn't able to do it against Inter in the Serie A. Barcelona wasn't able to do it in the Champions League. Benfica wasn't able to do it. Maybe City is the team that will be able to do it. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, but the City has when City is in a how can I say it in a good day, they move the ball quick. The 1-2s, the dribblings, the pace. It's quite quick. That's what I'm saying. But if they start to shit the bed, oh man, those legs
Yeah,
they are heavy. They become heavy,
yeah, yeah. Because they're
and
obsessed. For them, it's an
Inter
obsession.
is good on transition.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
3 passes, they are in attack, creating
Who do you
attack.
think is winning tomorrow between Real Madrid and City?
I think City.
Yeah,
Um, just because I'm playing the big numbers here.
they're all
Um, yeah,
to win one.
they've been trying in the last 3 years, getting closer and closer, final, semi-final. semi-final again. So the group of players is getting used to those type of games. The team is more pragmatic. They didn't lose their head against Real Madrid in the first leg when they conceded a goal. So I see a sign of maturity from the players.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the players play football, man. It's not the Guardiola. Guardiola put them in the pitch,
Right.
but if they shit the bed, it's not him. He makes some
Yeah.
tactical, weirdness sometimes. But again, sometimes though, I was shocked the amount of time they had the chance to cross the ball to Haaland. They didn't cross the ball, and they went back again. Still possession, going back to the right, back in the middle, to the left. Instead of crossing the ball, again, back. You know what I mean? Haaland had just one cross in that game. They should have
Mm.
be more start to think about, okay, let's bring some players in the box. Let's start to close chances, cross the ball, and put some pressure on the aerial duels. So they didn't do
Yeah.
that. That was weird.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how the game will go tomorrow. I think it's
Be
going to
harder.
be. I think it's going to be obviously possession goes to Man City, but I think it's not going to be so easy for Man City to beat Real. It's going to be a tough game. But I also agree. I think Man City has the edge, and I would say that they are favorites to go through. Then in the final, Man City is 100% the favorites, but watch out for Inter's style. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, and again, it's too early. It's in 3 weeks, so
Yeah.
a lot of things can happen in 3 weeks. As we saw, we were in a great form against Napoli. Leao got injured 4 days before
Yep.
the game. The mood goes
Like,
down.
like, if we didn't, who knows if we had a nice, because we lost fitness, huh? When we were perfectly healthy with Napoli, but then against Inter we lost fitness.
And sometimes those ugly games, you win them with that one chance. You score that chance and you win that ugly game. We didn't win those ugly games. We were drawing against Bologna, Cremonese.
Yeah,
Not in you. Roma was such an ugly game, and
that doesn't
Roma
help.
finds that weird goal in the last minute, and we drew again. The more the morale was going a bit down. We didn't get build that momentum. If you get wins, Bologna, Roma, and Cremonese, you beat Lazio. Leao does not get injured. Even ugly win. I'm talking about even ugly win. You go on a different with a different mentality, different state of mind against Inter.
Yeah, yeah,
It's football is about these things as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The calendar is quite tight. I don't know if it's I don't remember Champions League being so tight the calendar. But because I think that the World Cup made it a bit more tighter.
Mm, yeah,
Just slightly better, I'll be honest.
yeah. I gotta be honest. I'm sad. I'm not that disappointed to be honest with you, man. I'm not that disappointed. Like I think making the semifinals of the Champions League 2 years in after your second year of qualifying into the Champions League is such a huge achievement. It's hard for me to be disappointed. The fact that it's Inter, I honestly don't give a shit who it is, whether it's Inter or some other team. I don't care. And I know people are like, okay, Inter, the derby, blah. I just don't give a fuck. But actually, I'm going to say something extremely unpopular. I'm going to get a lot of hate. I'm happy it is another Italian team going to the final rather than uh, another team. But in the end, I'm happy that Milan made it to the semifinal. That's a great achievement. I think this club is only a few signings away, maybe a little bit more than a few, 3 or 4 or 5 signings away from being a super top club. So I really hope that this summer they get everything right. Maldini has been asking for investments. Now this is the second time Maldini asks for investments live on TV, and not on Serie A shows, but on Champions League shows where the whole
Yeah.
world is watching. His second time he's asked for more investments from the management. So let's see. It's going to be key. For the season, I don't know. If we don't finish top four, that's going to be an issue, huh?
My problem is that. So if we were top four right now, we would be digesting this loss better.
Yeah, it'd be much better.
We'll be like, okay, we did a great run at the end. We're still gonna finish top four, so that's fine. Let's come back next season better with better investments. But now the feeling is more like, oh shit, we're not gonna finish top four, so next season we're watching Europa League, and is
Oh my Lord.
that's awful, man. That's awful. That's more painful.
Yeah, that's the only sour note that we didn't finish. That we're not. That maybe we're not finishing top four. Yeah, that's the only thing that kind of keeps me a little bit.
I need Lazio to lose against Udinese and us winning against Sampdoria.
And also, Lazio has no business in the Champions League, man. Lazio is going to go to the Champions League just to lose it, so they can just focus on the Serie A again. It's like get
Yeah,
Lazio out of that fucking Champions League.
Lotito gets the Champions League money, pockets them, and fucking who cares? And he says who cares?
I need Serie A to be corrupted right now and take Lazio out for the good of the Serie A. By the way, there's also a very good chance that Juventus does get their points reduced. So there's still that possibility that Juventus does not get European football next year. Therefore, Milan, if Milan finishes fifth, let's say, they take Juventus's spot. That's what I heard. So
I
there's
heard that
that. Yeah.
UEFA will force Juventus not to play Champions League next season.
Okay.
So
What did you hear?
basically, UEFA is waiting for the process to finish in Italy about the fake transaction, plusvalences and things like that, which Serie A is not taking count of it. Serie A is like, fuck it. It's different from the real process and the sporting process. But UEFA is like, if that thing goes through and it's proven that Juventus are fake balance sheet and financial doping, they would not allow Juventus to go in Champions League because they basically, with the financial doping, they avoided the financial fair play of UEFA. And not respecting that, that means you're not going to play the Champions League. And there can be a 2-year ban for Juventus. Like we got, I think, 6 years
Yeah,
ago.
and Juventus with their new kit, that disgusting, ugly kit that they have, they don't deserve to be in Europe either. Have you seen that kit?
It's
The
yellow,
new kit?
basically. It's not black and white.
Yellow with the zebra stripes, like it's zebra, like fur. Man, it's so ugly. That has to be the ugliest Juve kit I've ever seen, ever, ever. Get
Yeah,
those Lazio, Juve out of Europe. Let's put Milan in Europe. Let's put Roma in Europe.
Juventus, Inter, Milan in Europe will be good next season in Champions League.
Well, let's see.
I think
better-
Lazio can lose against. I just want Lazio to lose against Udinese. If Lazio loses against Udinese, they will shit the bed. I know that.
I hope so. They
The problem
deserve
is
it.
that Juventus will play the life against us because Juventus will be like, I need to be 10 points from fifth place. So if they take 9 points from us, we will still be in top four. That's what Juventus is thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. No, of course they're gonna try and do their best to beat us for sure.
So yeah,
That
fucking
match is a derby, you know. There's
no, that
no,
match will be another
there's
fucking semi-final, basically.
right.
Not the final.
There's never a friendly against Juve. Never.
Yeah, and it's gonna be tough because we're not in a great form. And Juventus has players to unlock games. They have that quality of the individual brilliance, you know.
Yeah.
We have that, but Benacer was one of them. Is not. Theo Hernandez is so tired, man. Theo is so tired. You saw today Theo how tired he was.
Yeah. He's out of ideas. No, he's out of ideas. He's been spremuto too much. You know. He's like
Man,
an orange. He's been.
such a bad management, man. Not being able to find a guy that can fucking play 3 games in a row in that position, and Theo not play, or a guy that gives competition to Theo, a guy that you think, you know what, Theo's not playing well, let's keep him in the bench. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah. Yeah. No, the roster needs some steroids. We need to give some steroids to this roster because it's looking like a skinny little kid. We need to give it some steroids.
The good news though, they are renewing. Benacer is here. They managed to keep the players that we
Bro, did
wanted
you
to keep.
see? Did you see Benacer's injury? How long it is?
How long?
You don't know?
No.
6 months.
What?
Yeah,
That's so fucked up.
6 months.
Fuck.
He's going to miss the whole summer preparation, and he's going to come back in what? Almost the end of
Uh,
the year, November.
yeah, because what is it? It's May, so we're talking about June, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah. And
So
November, we don't know what condition it will come. It's not gonna be with the 90 minutes or
no, of course not.
sharp and things like that. It's gonna
We
take
won't.
another month to get
Yeah,
ready.
we won't have a fully fit Benacer till next year, pretty much.
Yeah, because at the end of December, 20th of December, the fucking first half of the season stops. You know, Christmas kicks in, and so we need. Fucking hell, fuck.
That's insane.
Such a bad life. We cannot do 3 passes in the midfield, and Krunic is he's not good on open game.
Yeah,
He's good
well,
when
we
he's
need
in
more.
back, but not on open games. You know.
He's good when we have many options, but when he is the only option, it's tough. We need a midfielder in place of Benny until he gets back. So obviously they'll have to go in the market and buy someone. Obviously.
Well, just fucking. I heard there is this guy no Mitoma, Kamada for free.
Oh yeah. That's right.
He's for
Yeah,
free. Adopo is for free.
yeah. I've heard. I've read or well, they're saying that Milan has found an agreement with this player, Kamada.
Yeah, and we know that this is the period of the season that if the rumor is out there, that means it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, the market is opens in June, right?
Yeah, but every time we sign a free agent, this period comes out the rumor. You
Yeah.
remember the Giroud
The,
Origi and all this.
the free agents, you get them all right now. Yeah. And listen, I think I'm gonna make another ball prediction here. This summer, Maldini does not have to renew his contract. The club is not transitioning ownership. This summer, Maldini, I think, is going to have a very good summer. Very good summer. Hopefully, even if it's for the Europa League, he's still going to have a really good summer. Hopefully not, but I'm going to say it.
I mean, these Europa League are, in a sense, is ugly to watch. I don't like it, and every time Milan plays Europa League, I feel it is a wasted season for me. But in a sense, can be a good thing for Milan as a club because that will allow us to um, get back in track, play just one game a week, and things like that, and ignore the Europa League play just the second team or something rearranged, not the full squad, because teams are not incredibly well doing the group stage. It gets difficult quarterfinal, semi-final, final, the Europa League usually.
Yeah.
So until that point, you can kind of be snobbish and play.
Man,
focus
I
on the
would,
Serie A.
I would try my best to get eliminated, man.
Of
Who gives
course.
a shit, dude?
At one point, if you're fighting for the league, fucking get eliminated or not, don't play your best team. You know what I mean? At one point, when you're fighting for
If
the
you're
league,
fighting for the league, yeah. If you're like Roma, that is their only way to get into the Champions League, then it's different. But
or if you're, let's say you're not even fighting to get in the league, but you're so comfortable in top four. There is those seasons that the third is super detached from the fourth and the fifth.
I would just give it to Atalanta. I would say, Atalanta, if you want to take it, you guys take it. You know, I'll just give it away for charity. The most useless tournament in the history of football, man.
Imagine if you do that. You go to a final against Atalanta and you tell the Atalanta supporters that hate us, you know what, take us. We're playing the Primavera. Can you imagine if you did that? So you
Yeah,
can make fun of them forever in their history.
Atalanta will go to Conference League. They might win the Conference League next season.
Dude, I would love to take the Atalanta striker.
Yeah,
I'm honest with you. He's
more
20
than
years old. Yeah, he's good.
it's really good.
I will fucking spend that 50 million for him and move on. If let's say we're not going Champions League next season. If we're not going Champions League next season, this roster, if you add Oiland and a Theo back up, you can risk it for next season in Serie A. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. We don't need
Because
that
they will
much.
play a good one game a week. He'll be rested. He will have a young striker and a left back for Theo to rest. That'll be perfect. If you finish top four, you need to invest because you need to show up next season, Serie A and Champions League again.
Yeah,
Anyway,
let's see. Let's hope.
we need. Listen, we need to make some money out of Rebic. We need to make some money out of CDK. Who else can make us get some money? That's it.
Yeah,
CDK
really.
and Rebic have a market. That's it.
You can sell Balotelli to a mid level club.
No, I will buy him.
You can sell him for
Sell Rebic for 15 million or 10 million. Add another 15 and buy Zaniolo. Sell CDK, get a loss with CDK, make an exchange, a loan with option to buy to some Premier League team. Or exchange CDK's Kamaka, whatever.
and poor kid, man. Must be
Head to head. Let's exchange CDK, Skamaka, or whatever.
Origi in Premier League. We're saying in chat.
Well, I hope so. The Premier League will pay 20, 30 million.
Let's Diaz. Najadine is saying before we sell CDK, let's let Diaz go and sell Origi.
So we're gonna risk another year, CDK.
I don't know. I don't know. Hello? Oh, you guys pissed off liars. You guys said sell Diaz. You pissed them off. Hey, Larry, listen, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah, let's close it. Let's close it. Let me put the.
All right, everybody, guys, have a great day. Thank you for being here. Make sure you click that like button.
Yeah, Forza Milan, guys.
Awesome.
Vincerai, non ti lasceremo.